It's the place where your loved ones can come
Good
visit
morning,
you
everyone.
time
Good
and
morning.
time
We'll be on the air in just a couple minutes. If you're new here, my name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. I'm the co-host. This is the longest-running radio show in Florida, the most pro-Donald Trump radio show anywhere. And we're on the radio from 6 till 9 a.m. weekday mornings, and we stream here on YouTube, and we're on the radio.
Those who have lived and all those who live today. Let the Gardens take care of your family as they are taking care of my family. Schedule a tour today. Call 877-PLAN-561 or online at thegardens.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Hi, this is Debbie Klatzoff, president and owner of I Will Advisors. It's that time of year. It's open enrollment, October 15th to December 7th. This is the one time of year you're able to make changes to your health plan. At I Will Advisors,
the noise is back. Oh, I'll fix it. Hold on.
We represent almost every major national carrier. Call today, 954-753-8080. Again, 954-753-8080.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Susan at the Steve Veterans and spouses of veterans. You may be
Give me a minute.
aware of, including long-term care.
I'll fix it.
Call Attorney Barry
Just bear with me.
and find out what benefits.
It's because I was running through the ring.
With offices in Boca Raton and Fort Myers.
Bear with me. Because I was running through the ring. Bear with me. Because I was running through the ring. Okay, one more time. Hold on.
I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. And I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation.
I'll just unplug the mic.
I had 2 cavities. I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse,
it's because the mic is wet
so I
from the
scheduled
rain.
my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has
I know.
Saturday
It's a lot to do,
appointments
Freddie.
available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave.
I'll fix the mic later. We'll just go with the device mic.
So call
just for now.
Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE.
It does, Neil.
And
It does.
now, here's Steve Kane.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show. I'm still setting up, people. I know it's 7 minutes after the hour. I know. It's pouring down rain outside, so all my equipment got a little wet. I'm a little disorganized, and I trying to make it in through. I have an umbrella, I have a hat and everything. I just left it by the front door at home. I know, isn't that something? I know, don't you hate? I put everything by the front door so I wouldn't forget everything because I knew it was going to be pouring down rain, and sure enough, I forgot it all. Welcome to the show. It is Thursday morning, October 22nd, and tonight's the big night of the debate, and this election has just gotten weird. I mean, this is what's been going on with this election since late yesterday afternoon, and now has just gotten, this is very strange, a lot of weird stuff going on. The Proud Boys are being exposed. The Lincoln Project is being exposed. Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat, is going to be exposed for trying to pull something over on America's mayor, Rudy Giuliani, the war hero of September 11th, right up there with Beamer and the rest. He did a lot of heroic things on that day, on 9/11. It's a disgrace that they do the things they do to Rudy Giuliani and say the things they say about Giuliani after what he did for us. Going after Rudy Giuliani is the equivalent of going after Audie Murphy, Sergeant York, or any other a well-known American war hero. But they're doing it, and this story with Giuliani, we will get to in just a bit. Giuliani did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. If Giuliani did, I'll get to all the details of it in a little bit. But if Mayor Giuliani did anything wrong, we wouldn't see two still photographs. We would see the raw video footage. And they're not showing us the video footage. Because the video footage shows that Rudy Giuliani did nothing wrong and that everything he says is truthful. We'll get to that in a little bit, but there's been some major revelations going on here about the Proud Boys and other things. And I was telling you all to be very careful about backing the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys everyone was talking about the Proud Boys a couple of weeks back, and if you remember, Chris Wallace, in his very embarrassing Fox News debate, even questioned President Trump about the Proud Boys, and they were trying to make this thing out to get this narrative going that the Proud Boys were this Trump organization. And now we're finding all kinds of things out about the Proud Boys. Let's start with that, because this is pretty important stuff here. There was a big FBI press conference yesterday. During the conference, it was said that Iran, that's right, Iran, the country that had 50 American hostages, or was it 51 American hostages actually, and you know everything they've been up to. Iran and Russia are attempting to influence public opinion on the election. Iran has been sending spoofed emails to intimidate voters and incite unrest, the Gateway Pundit is reporting. Leftists, that's Biden voters, liberals, leftists were receiving emails from people claiming to be from the Proud Boys, threatening voters. The emails were not sent by the Proud Boys. They were sent by these, Russia and Iran are allies. They were sent by some Russia-Iran joint election interference intelligence operation. And, it really goes to show you, if you look at everything that's going on here, everything they've done to Trump, everything they've accused Donald Trump of doing, they're the ones that are really doing it, right? You got the Russians working on behalf of the Democrats, posing as Proud Boys. God only knows what else they've done so far as infiltration into the Proud Boys. And they have this one here is just, they think they got something here. President Trump has a bank account at a Chinese bank, right? And they're trying to act as if this is some type of scandal. Well, first of all, the money that he has in that bank account, if it's true, if it exists, is his own money that he earned. It's not money that he gained by taking bribes from someone. But everyone is talking about this Chinese bank account, and then they laugh. Even Obama. Let me pull up this clip. I do have a clip of I apologize for playing a soundbite of Barack Obama, but I gotta play it. Let's see here. Did I bring that one in? Yes, this is Obama yesterday giving a speech, not in favor of Joe Biden, but attacking Trump. I guess he's so ticked off about Trump in the rallies, he had to go out there and vent against Trump. And this is Obama yesterday at a rally that he had. A rally. There were like 6 to 10 people there. Have you seen the video online? Obama showed up to the group, and they didn't even seem to care that he was there. They weren't even impressed that President Obama was there. But this is President Obama talking about this Chinese bank account yesterday.
In the last 48 hours, we know that he continues to do business with China because he's got a secret Chinese bank account.
Now this is interesting. Secret. If it's secret, how does everyone know about it? Doesn't sound like a secret. I know they're calling it a secret bank account, but if it were a secret, how would they know about it?
In the last 48 hours, we know that he continues to do business with China because he's got a secret Chinese bank account. How is that possible? How is that possible? A secret Chinese bank account. Listen, Can you imagine if I had a secret Chinese bank account when I was running for re-election?
Now, all these horns honking, this was because of all social distancing, you're not allowed to stand at the Obama event. You have to drive up, and instead of applauding, people honk their horns.
You think Fox News might have been a little concerned about that? They would have called me Beijing Barry.
Ah, Beijing Barry. Okay. Now, none of these idiots, you see, they're so desperate. I was talking yesterday about how the Democrats are in complete disarray because they've never been on the receiving end of an October surprise. They're always the perpetrator, so they don't know how to react, and everything they've done in reaction to it has been wrong. So they've got this thing, he's got a Chinese bank account. Well, President Trump talked about this in the 2016 election. I haven't heard anybody bring this up since this talk came out yesterday. The largest bank in China has a branch at Trump Tower. So probably what the president did was open up a bank account. You know, he's a celebrity investor type, right? Mr. Monopoly, Donald Trump. They're renting space in his building. He probably went down there just to do business with them since they're renting the space in Trump Tower and open up a bank account. And a bank like that wants President Trump to have a bank account, even if it's got $1 in it, so they can say, Donald Trump Bank's here. No secret, no scandal. Now, if he had been taking bribes while holding federal office in exchange for foreign aid to China, and then he put that money in a bank account, well, then there you would have a scandal. Like Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. Speaking of bank accounts, where'd all the money go with Joe? I haven't heard anything about financial disclosures on all this money. I tell you, these people, they think that they're just so desperate right now. It's really coming down to the wire. It's debate night, and they're in trouble. All right, let's go to the phones. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. It's a toll-free call, 1-888-465-2631. You are on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, it's Mike and Mocha.
Hey, Mike and Mocha, what's up?
The fact of the matter is, the real truth out of all this is that last time, it's going to end the Biden thing. It's going to end Biden. There was some revelations that came out last night.
Which ones are you talking? I know there's so much going on. I really didn't even know where to begin the show today.
I'm talking about the revelations of the monetary, the bribery and the money laundering scheme that the FBI is looking into. The other stuff, that's personal. He's gonna, the pictures. That's not the focus. The focus is the emails that Maurice from. There are pictures. They already know that Biden has met with them. There's a lot of stuff, and it's just gonna. I'm right now on 50-50 that Biden does not do that debate today. That's what I think.
Oh no, he'll be there. This is what you don't understand. One of the things that the left and the media make a mistake at when it comes to Donald Trump is they believe their own rhetoric, their own hate towards President Trump. They don't understand how highly skilled he is on television, especially in a debate format. They think they've got everything under control. They've got these mute buttons in place. Kristen Welker's going to be there. She's an experienced White House person. They don't understand that he is going to lay in to Biden on his dealings through his son.
But that's why I'm not thinking of Biden as a. I think Biden is 50-50. I think he might not show up.
Oh no, he'll show up. He'll be there. He'll be there. He's too arrogant not to be there. I mean, right now he's basically he's in a similar situation that Hillary was in. He's running for his freedom because if he became president, well, he could make a lot of this stuff go away, and he probably none of these people are probably going to go to jail, but it's an unknown. So he's running to keep him and his family free.
As far as the Borat goes, I saw that and I read it, and it's just total baloney. And
You're talking about the Giuliani setup with Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat. Yeah, I'm going to get to that in a bit. Borat is a terrible person. Sacha Baron Cohen is a very terrible person.
the first movie, I saw it years ago. It was very funny. And after that, he just stopped.
No, I'll tell you, I watched the first movie too. And I thought it was funny in the beginning. And then he did something that was so far over the line, I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was terrible. In the first Borat movie, he stays the night at this woman's, I guess, bed and breakfast or something, and then he comes down to the dinner table with feces in a bag that he said he didn't know what to do with. And there were reports that destroyed that woman's business. And I thought he was such a terrible person with that. I didn't watch the movie beyond that point. I thought it was so outrageous and disgusting and distasteful what he did. I don't think he's funny at all. He tried to get Donald Trump years ago, and Trump picked up on him in just a few seconds and got out of there.
Yeah, I think he talked about it at one of his rallies years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Special, I think in a Showtime special.
Well, this is gonna be a difficult thing for me because the Borat movie with this Rudy thing is coming out Friday on Amazon Prime, and I have Amazon Prime, so it's free and available on my TV and mobile devices and everything, and it will be very difficult for me not to watch it. I don't want to watch it because I don't want to support Sacha Baron Cohen. He's a terrible man. And I'm going to get into the details of this Giuliani thing later, but so far as I know, Sacha Baron Cohen is still a British national. Him doing what he did in this movie to American politicians and releasing it here in America, is that foreign election interference from the UK? The left seem to be obsessed over that.
Yeah, it could be.
It seems to me that it's foreign, that Borat 2 is foreign election interference.
I'm not a conspiracy, not an Alex Jones nut, but all these things coming out in the last 24 hours, they just want to...
Yeah, and all this talk about the censoring of all this talk on social media of censoring the Hunter Biden stuff, why are these pictures of these two photographs out of context of Giuliani, why is that fair game?
Because he's got the goods. He's the one who opened it. Can of worms up.
That's right. They're trying to destroy America's mayor, the war hero of 9/11.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
No. All right, Mike and Boca, I'm going to run for our first break. When we get back from the break, more of your calls at 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631, and I'll get into the details of this Giuliani thing because a lot of you probably don't know about it, so we'll get into that as well. My name is Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
You want to keep your home and business free from germs and COVID-19? You can with the help of Extreme Germ Busters. Extreme Germ Busters have the most advanced disinfectant delivery system on the planet. It kills 99.9% of germs, as well as viruses, including COVID-19. It's safe, non-toxic, odorless, and EPA approved. It's safe for your home, your office, your car, your doctor's office, restaurants, or anywhere else you want to be safe. Extreme Germ Busters disinfected the entire radio station, the lobby, the studios, the control room, the microphones, the hallway, the elevator, anywhere people have been. And like all Steve Kane Show sponsors, their prices are low. In fact, they charge about half of what the other companies charge. After they disinfect your location, they give you a completion certificate so you can display it in your lobby. And their COVID-19 disinfectants are made right here in the USA. Give them a call right now, 954-69-GERMS. That's 954-694-3767. Online, extremegermbusters.com. That's Extreme, XTREME. And for you Spanish speakers, they speak Spanish. Help prevent the spread of COVID-19 and germs by keeping your employees, clients, customers, patients, and your family safe. 954-69-GERMS. You've heard Steve Kane, Richie the bus driver, and many other Steve Kane listeners tell you about the great work Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care offers. Steve Kane listener, hey, called in, he had an accident, he went to Dr. Gupta, and he told us his story.
Good morning, Brian. My name's Hank. I'm calling from Hollywood. Brian, I'm calling you for a different thing. About a month or so ago, I called first thing in the morning because I fainted coming out of my bathroom. And I busted my 3 front teeth. I busted my chin, but I guess I fainted, I fell, I cracked my chin, it hit my upper teeth, and cracked my 3 front teeth. I want to thank you, and I really want to thank Dr. Gupta. I mean,
I'm going to try to plug in the microphone again, so if it doesn't work, I'll just disconnect it, but give me a second here. Let's see here, because I came in the rain, everything got wet. I think that's what's going on here. Let me just give it a try. Just give it a second. Okay, sounds like it's okay now. Okay, sounds like it's okay now. Yeah, it had to dry out because I ran in through the rain. Everything got wet. The tip of the connector got wet.
Thank you, and you guys keep up the good work over there. I appreciate it. Dr. Gupta, you keep up the good work too.
All right, there we go.
So everybody keep up.
All right, I think you guys just heard what will be...
Hey everyone, if you're in there and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I am 5 subs away from 4,700. So that would be great if you could sub if you're not already subscribed. And click that like button because the liberal trolls, they're always in there with the down thumbs, you know.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right. Okay, welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Okay, so they really did a number on Giuliani, and I'm going to read through this story, and it's very strange. It is meant to make Biden look as if he's in a hotel room with a young woman to do something that he shouldn't be doing. But none of this could be further from the truth. And I'm going to read this to you. This is from the Daily Mail. And this is the headline in the Daily Mail. Rudy Giuliani claims Borat honey trap is a hit job to distract voters from Hunter Biden's laptop scandal after Sacha Baron Cohen tricked him into going to a hotel room with an actress and filmed him. Now, the way that is worded, Rudy Giuliani, they're trying to make it sound as if he went to a hotel room to have sex. No, this was for an interview, and that is exactly what had happened. This is from the Daily Mail I'm reading from. Rudy Giuliani might star in one of the most awkward scenes in Sacha Baron Cohen's new Borat movie, which will be released tomorrow on Amazon Prime. Mayor Giuliani is interviewed by Borat's daughter, Tutar, posing as a conservative reporter, who then brings him to a hotel room where he reclines on a bed and seemingly puts his hand down his pants, only to be interrupted by Cohen's Borat character. Sacha Baron Cohen, as Borat, burst into the room at this point and yells, "She's 15! She's too old for you!" Cohen screams and waves Giuliani off his daughter, played by a 24-year-old actress. Giuliani pointed out, "I was fully clothed at all times," and explained he was merely tucking in his shirt, not doing anything untoward. "I leaned back, I tucked my shirt in, and at that point they have this picture that they take, which looks doctored by in any event," Giuliani said on WABC Radio Wednesday. "I'm tucking in my shirt. That's all I was doing," he said slowly, letting each word sink in. Let me skip down here. I got a lot of photographs. Giuliani floated that he was being targeted because of his role in revealing the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop. No doubt. "They'll do anything. They'll attack me over anything possible," Mayor Giuliani said. "And now that idiot Borat is going after me with a totally sensationalized false account of a ridiculous movie. I guess he is done." Giuliani called it a hit job. He says, "It's not an accident that it happens when I turn in all this evidence on their prince and darling Joe Biden. who is one of the biggest crooks in the last 30 years. And since I have the courage to say that I'm the target, the president's personal lawyer said. Giuliani said he went to what he thought was an interview. The topic was coronavirus, and he said it seemed legit. I did the interview with the young woman who was new to interviewing, and I was being kind to her, he said. At one point, she explained to me some personal problems I had. And Giuliani went on to say, I actually prayed with her. Now, this is an interesting thing because Borat has the raw film footage of this because there were hidden cameras in there on top of the cameras for the interview. So Borat could settle this whole thing right now and release the raw footage as a promotion for his movie, which is being released tomorrow. But I haven't seen that. He said I had actually prayed with her. When he got up to leave, he said he had his jacket on. I was fully clothed at all times, and I had to take off the electronic equipment. And when the electronic equipment came off, some of it was in the back, and my shirt came a little out, although my clothes were entirely on, Giuliani told WABC. Giuliani said he realized something was amiss when Borat's daughter asked if he would like a massage. She says something about, do I want a massage? And then Giuliani says, I realize now, at that point, that this is a setup. And I call my security guy who's right outside, Giuliani recalled. And then all of a sudden, crazy Sacha Baron Cohen runs in wearing a cape and yelling and screaming all sorts of stupid stuff. He argued that he called the police, Giuliani, at this point. He called the police. Giuliani says, if I was doing anything wrong, I would not call the police. And if he was doing anything right, he would not have been running away, Giuliani said. And there's a bunch of tweets here that let me get to the first one. He went on a tweet storm. Okay, Borat ran when he called the cops. Okay, what happened with Giuliani? He went in, he did this interview, and he had one of those tiny little lavalier mics that clip on to your shirt, your lapel, or your tie. And when you're doing a television interview or anything, even if it's on YouTube and you're doing a video interview, when you use one of those microphones, you run the cord for the microphone up through your shirt so it is not visible on camera. And oftentimes there's a battery pack connected to it that is clipped in the person's back. And the interview was over. He was taking off the microphone, and that's when his shirt was untucked because he was taking off the equipment. And you notice he said that it was some of the electronic equipment was in the back. I promise you, they mic'd him up in a way that when he took off the mic, it was going to make his shirt come out. You know, as difficult as it is going to be for me not to watch this movie, because it's going to be free on my Amazon Prime tomorrow, I'm not going to watch it. There's going to be a lot. I'm going to have to stay off Amazon Prime because I'm sure anytime I click on Amazon Prime Friday and for the next couple of weeks, at least until Election Day, this Borat 2 is going to be right there in a big banner trying to get me to watch as a suggested video. I'm not going to do it. Sacha Baron Cohen is a terrible person. Rudy Giuliani is being slandered here in the media this morning. And it's very disgusting. He did nothing wrong. Did nothing wrong. All right, let's take our break for the bottom of the hour. There's a lot more to talk about too, but this is what happens. You expose the crimes. Oh, and this happened months ago, and Giuliani talked about this back in July. I think it might have been on Hannity. But I remember him back in the summertime talking about this setup video that Sacha Baron Cohen pulled on him months ago. I think it might have been Hannity's radio show. I can't remember. I remember him talking about it and us talking about it on the radio. But this is what they do. You expose their scandals. You expose their crimes. Giuliani tweeted yesterday they got some big stuff coming out about Hunter. And that's why this is being pulled out right now. But you know, what scares the Bidens more than anything is not what Giuliani has, it's what they think he might have. See, what I mean by that is Giuliani has the information from the laptops of Hunter Biden about the crimes of Joe Biden, but he doesn't have a complete history of the Biden corruption. And whatever some of the worst things that Joe Biden was involved in, the Biden camp are afraid Giuliani has evidence of that. You know what I'm talking? Does that make sense to you? But Giuliani says he has some big stuff that we very well may see today as a preview of the debate. All right, I want to take your calls on this and anything else that's election related. There's a lot more to get into today. What's going on in this election, this is just crazy town, man. Our number is toll free from anywhere. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take a break and come back with your calls right after this.
We have on the line Attorney Barry Siegel, our estate planning attorney. Hey, Barry Siegel, good morning.
Then let's just talk about something we talked about many times in the past, about the cost of probate. The cost of probate is not just money, but the money part can be a very large amount of money. We could be talking about thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars that your family's going to have to pay.
I know, it's crazy town. Complete crazy town. Welcome everyone who's new.
2 years on average to get through the probate process. It's a hassle. We're dealing with a judge who's making decisions on the assets, not a trusted family member or friend. It's a public process. It's really just something you want to completely avoid if possible. But
I know, things are getting so nuts, people. This is one of the craziest elections we have ever seen.
Whether to do a will, do a revocable trust. Sometimes people will choose a will simply because it costs less.
Steve Kane Show.
It's really effective because a will in the long run costs a lot more. So by doing a trust, you can completely avoid the probate process, make things simple for your loved ones, avoid going before a judge, avoid having a public process where all your information is out there available for anyone to, and of course avoid...
I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, this is just crazy town.
So for anybody out there who's interested in reviewing what's best for you and your family, or reviewing if you have a current will or trust, reviewing that at your charge, please give our office a call and we'll be happy to review it and also do a consultation for you if you haven't done anything. Go through everything, go through your goals, through your estate, the family situation, so that we can make sure we have the right recommendations for you.
You mean more than the confessions of the criminals?
May think, well,
Steve Kane Show.
You know, why do I care? And I'll tell
hey,
you,
hold on.
the probate process can become an incredible financial burden on your family that you leave behind. Because, for example, if you leave them a house or a condo, even if the house and the condo are paid for, they've got to maintain the home, they've got to pay the property taxes, they've got to pay the insurance, the HOA fees.
Listen, guys, I am 5 subscribers away from 4,700 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. If you could get me up to over the 4,700 mark today, I would be greatly appreciative of it. Every time I get to one of these benchmarks and I mention it, a few libs unsubscribe for a while. You know, that's how they are. Then they subscribe, you know, a couple days down the road again. There we go. Coming back.
352-3782, Attorney Barry Siegel.
I will, Debbie. I'm here till 9.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you, Attorney Barry Siegel. Give him a call.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, we are back. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. This is Todd from Memphis, Tennessee.
Hey, Todd. What's up?
Man, I was up. I've been at work all night, and there was an article that just came out on New York Post. It just came out on New York Post, and it's about when Hunter Biden, this business partner, firm email details Joe Biden's list to make bids on China.
Yeah, I've got the story. That's next on my list. There's so much going on right now. I'm having a difficult time focusing in on one issue because there's so much craziness going on. But I felt it's important to put in context what happened with Mayor Giuliani. Yeah, I'm gonna go through it on the air here in just a moment, but I appreciate the heads up, Memphis. Yeah, all right, take care. Listen, okay, so this is the article he was referencing. I was going to get to this in a little while, but since he referenced it, I will. This is in the New York Post. Here's the headline, New York Post. It's a Michael Goodwin article. Hunter biz partner confirms email, details Joe Biden's push to make millions from China. And let me read this article. Yeah, we got time. I'll go through this article with you. This is Michael Goodwin's writing in the New York Post. Wait until Scranton hears about this. One of Joe Biden's ways of contrasting himself with President Trump has been to declare the election a battle of Park Avenue values versus Scranton, PA values. Now we learn that Biden has secretly been playing footsie with China, writes Michael Goodwin in the New York Post. The statement Wednesday night asserting that the former vice president was a willing and eager participant in a family scheme to make millions of dollars by partnering with a shady Chinese communist firm is a singular event in a presidential race already overflowing with drama and intrigue. The dynamite assertion, believable because it aligns with earlier information we know to be true, came in a statement from Tony Bobulinski, who describes himself as a former partner of Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, and Joe's brother Jim Biden in the China scheme. Bobulinski unloads his bill of accusations in blunt but precise language and detail. Here we go. He confirms that he was one of the recipients of the May 13th, 2017 email published by the Post 8 days ago. That email from another partner in the group laid out cash and equity positions and mysteriously included a 10% set aside for the big guy. Sources have said the big guy was Joe Biden. In a matter-of-fact manner, Bobulinski states that the email is genuine and that the former vice president and the man leading in the 2020 race is indeed the big guy. That claim alone rips out the heart of nearly everything Joe Biden has said about Hunter's many businesses and Joe's knowledge of them. His repeated insistence that the two never spoke of the son's global sources of money didn't pass the laugh test. By the way, if you're calling in, we will go to the phones again in just a bit. 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. All right, this is a good one in the Post today. After all, they traveled together to China on Air Force Two, where Hunter landed a $1.5 billion, that's billion with a B, people, where Hunter landed a $1.5 billion commitment from a government-controlled Chinese bank. Then there was Hunter's $83,000 a month gig on the board of the Ukrainian energy company, despite his lack of experience in Ukraine or knowledge of energy. It was no coincidence that the vice president was the Obama administration's point man in both countries. Wherever Joe went, Hunter went along, not to do good, but to do very well. There were lucrative deals in Russia, Romania, Kazakhstan that we know of. Now, because of his role in the China deal, has been credibly confirmed, it's beyond dispute that Joe Biden didn't just know what was going on. At least in this case, Joe Biden was a player and had his hand out. To that point, and perhaps the most devastating paragraph of the 689-word statement, Bobulinski writes that Hunter Biden also referred to his father as my chairman and frequently referenced asking him for his sign-off or advice on various potential deals that they were discussing. I've seen Vice President Biden saying he never talked to Hunter about his business, says Bobulinski, who was the CEO of the company being formed. I've seen firsthand that's not true, because it wasn't just Hunter's business. They said they were putting the Biden family name and its legacy on the line. That's a remarkable line, one suggestive of the idea that the plan was always to sell Joe Biden's fame and influence. It goes on about all these things. Okay, but yeah, I mean, it's story after story. You know what's really amazing too? I was thinking yesterday, all this talk about the laptops. You know, one thing I've not seen in the news, I haven't seen one television crew go to the computer repair shop and report from the computer repair shop. I haven't seen anyone try to get interviews with him. I haven't seen anyone standing on the street in front of the store saying this is the infamous computer repair store. I haven't seen any of that. Not even Fox News. They really, could you imagine if this were not just Trump, but any Republican, the entire media, that they would be in front of the computer store like they were in front of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas after the tragedy. They'd be camped out. They would have camped out, if this were Trump, they would have camped out in front of the computer store when this broke a week ago, and they would still be there today, every day. They would be in front of the home of the computer repair guy. They would be following him from his car to his business, from his car to his front door. And not one member of the media has been interested in going to the computer store in Delaware where all this happened. You know, because I believe Hunter did this on purpose. I believe he got pissed off at Pops for taking so much of the money that he felt was his. I think what we basically had is we had a dispute among criminals. They always fight about the money, criminals. This is the downfall of many a criminal enterprise, is they start to fight over the money and whose money is it and how much is this person owed. This is what typically happens. Right? Yeah. It's like in Goodfellas after they did the Lufthansa heist. They were all, that was a true story. Right? De Niro got all the money and they were all fighting. Remember that? That's what this was like. And I think he went to that store on purpose in a fit of rage. Now, he might have been on something too, but he was in a rage over his dad taking the money. And he was ticked off at him. He's always praising Bo. He's always ignoring Hunter, and Hunter did it on purpose. And I'd like to know what it looks like at that place, inside and out. Because it seems to me to be a little too coincidental that the guy happened to be a big Trump guy. Is there a Trump flag or a Trump sign on the front of the business? Was there one there when he dropped off these laptops? Or maybe there wasn't, but maybe in 2016 there was. I'd like to know how Hunter ended up at this particular computer store, and how far is it from where does Hunter live in Delaware, or is that where his dad's house is and he was staying there? I don't know. But how far does Hunter Biden live from the computer store? There's all kinds of things going on here with this, and no one seems to want to get to the bottom of it. No one talks about how the laptops got there. I haven't seen anyone go to the computer store and ask for surveillance video, or even ask if it existed or exists. Nothing. They want to talk about a couple of dollars that the $10 billion net worth of Donald Trump is in some Chinese bank somewhere that's legal money. But they don't want to get to the bottom of this story because it all leads to Joe, and they don't want that out there. All right, listen, we're going to take our last break of the first hour. You are all welcome to call in as long as you're relevant to the conversation on the table. All right, we're talking about the election. It has to be election-related. If you are a Democrat, if you're in the Biden camp, you are certainly welcome, but you don't have to be a liberal to call. We'll talk to either side of the political spectrum on this program, so long as you are talking about a relevant topic. Our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. That's a toll-free call from anywhere, no matter where you are. All right, let's take that last break of the first hour and be right back. Yeah, you're all welcome to call in. Then they're griping.
Good morning, Brian. How are you today?
We let both sides on.
How are you? I'm doing fantastic, Brian. I have a little anecdote for you.
Thanks for those of you that just subbed.
Nice woman came in, brought her mother-in-law with her. And this nice young lady that came in was in her early 80s. And she came for a couple of reasons. One was to ask me if she was too old for hormone replacement therapy. And she asked me this, and at the same time they were telling me how she plays golf, she travels, she goes here, she goes there. And I looked at her and said, geez, if you're doing all these things and enjoying it, why do you need hormone replacement therapy? And she looked up at me and said, Doc, I'm tired of being tired, and I want to enjoy what I'm doing. Folks, there is no age limit here, okay? This is for everybody. I say this when people come in. Once you're on hormone replacement therapy and you're successful, and we have a very high success
Steve Kane Show.
With a new vigor and energy and strength and endurance, and it's pretty cool, folks. So if you're sitting out there wondering, maybe I'm just too old for this, you will realize that you're never too old.
Yeah, that's right. Listen, hormone replacement pellet therapy, it works. I know it because I'm a patient of Dr. Matez. It does everything he says, and when you experience it, it'll be an incredible experience like you have never experienced before. And that tired of being tired, I imagine a lot of your patients say that, Dr. Matez. Give him a call, Dr. Matez. It's a free consultation if you mention the Steve Kane Show. 561-953-5490. And it's not unusual for people to do what happened with this new patient of yours. Family members bring in family members all the time. 561-953-5490.
Steve Kane Show.
All right, Dr. Matez, we will talk later.
Steve Kane Show.
We will, Brian. Have a lovely day here in paradise.
All right.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Not 75 again.
Hey, Todd on I-75. What's up?
I was wondering, is there a chance that Biden might still back out of this thing last minute? Maybe someone will come down with virus, or maybe he might say he's positive or something.
You know, it's a funny thing you say that because you're the second caller this morning to make the same suggestion. No, he'll be there. He'll be there.
I think the president, when he says hello, he should say, "Hi, big guy."
Right. See, Biden's got to be there. He's running for the freedom of not just himself, but his family right now, right? Because if he were to win, he could make all this go away.
Oh, yeah, it'll disappear. It never happened.
That's right. That's right. All right, take care. Todd on I-75. All right, good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, Brian. It's Carl in Columbus.
Carl in Columbus. Hey, how you doing, Carl?
Good, good. Hey, last night, Hannity confirmed that the Hunter Biden laptop had been under investigation for money laundering by the FBI. So I'm thinking that maybe either like what you say, Hunter was trying to get back at Joe for the money issue and also the lack of respect, like he told his daughter in that email. But also, I think he was maybe hiding it because it was under subpoena, So maybe he just left it there at that store to, just to say
I don't know. I think you give too much credit to Hunter Biden. I think he got angry on a binge and went and did it. I don't think he was thinking clearly.
No, but that news last night on Hannity, that kind of raises some questions about, if that computer had been subpoenaed, and that could be why he just left it there.
I mean, I know that President Trump's incredibly popular, but what are the odds that he just happened to leave it at a computer shop in Delaware that is owned and operated by a big Trump guy?
That's true.
I mean, who's not just a voter of Trump, but is really kind of an activist mindset. This computer repair guy got together with a friend of his that he's not said who this is to reach out and contact both authorities and Mayor Giuliani. And getting in touch with Mayor Giuliani, that takes a lot of hoops. You just can't send a DM on Twitter, and no matter what it is, and get a call back from Rudy Giuliani. So, I think there's a story into how this particular computer guy was the one that got the computers from Hunter in the first place.
Yeah, I think it's pretty weird that they're not interviewing him or looking at the surveillance cameras.
Or even have you seen even a photograph of the computer store or a reporter in front of the computer? No.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe the guy who was part of the deal, you won't reveal who I am.
The media, it's an interesting thing. One thing that gives a lot of credibility to the laptops, there's a lot of things that give credibility to the laptops, but one big thing is that the media don't go there because they don't want people they don't want to know. That's right. If they go to the computer shop, people will start talking.
Yeah, that's right. And, some of my liberal friends are saying, oh, why would a guy who lives in California bring a laptop to this guy in Wilmington, Delaware? It's because his parents lived there and he was probably there visiting and having a meeting,
Well, I don't know. Nobody in the press seems to want to figure that out. No one's asking these questions. There's a whole story about this, and they're not attempting to discredit the laptops by following that trail because they know the trail is true. It'll truly lead them to Hunter Biden and confirm that they're his.
Now they're trying to say, like I just read an article in the Business Insider this morning, that they're trying to say that Giuliani was in Ukraine and paid $5 million for the email. Like Russia had Hunter's emails and was like.
Well, even if that were true, and it's not, what would that change?
You think they're just trying to run interference?
I mean, there was this one idiot on Fox said, well, none of this is on Joe Biden's tax returns that he just released. Oh, well, he doesn't have his criminal activities on his tax return. Shocker. No.
Schedule.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he always puts his criminal meetings on his official schedule when he's meeting with someone who he's selling America out to. What do you think's going to happen in the debate tonight?
I think Trump will handle it well, and I think allowing Biden to stumble and mess up on his own is a good idea, and I think it'll help Trump.
Oh yeah.
Not be able to. I don't know. His thoughts aren't going to be clear like mine are this morning, obviously.
No, your thoughts are clear. Things are so crazy. What's going on in this world right now, so far as what we're experiencing, it's hard to even fathom what's happening between this Borat Giuliani thing, this laptop. What's in the next hour, I'm going to play some of a conversation that Jim Acosta had with Blitzer on CNN last night, which was so strange. The conversation they had live on the air is so, you'll hear it in the next hour, but it's so strange. This is weird. Everything that's happening now is weird. It's hard to believe that this thing with Giuliani. Have you seen the photographs?
Yeah, it looks weird. It looks like it's been photoshopped. Like he's not. It's like he's standing there tucking in his shirt, but they changed the picture so that it looks like he's laying down on a bed.
Yeah.
Majorly cut, and I think they'll just show parts of it. They won't show, it won't reveal what they're saying.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. All right, Carl in Columbus, appreciate the call. All right, take care. All right, now, in the next hour, I'll get to this exchange with Jim Acosta and Will Blitzer on CNN, and it's strange. And it's also desperate, and it goes into this theme I've been talking about the last 2 days, how the left, which the media are part of, the Biden camp, how the Biden camp just don't know how to deal with being the recipient of the October surprise, and crazy things are going on. Did you guys catch the president's rally last night? Oh my God, it was a great rally. I've never seen a rally, I haven't seen a rally of this size with that many people since before we heard of coronavirus. Right? It was a huge turnout. And I'm going to take our break for the top of the hour a couple minutes early. And then when we get back, I want to get into the audio sound bites and more of your calls. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Don't go anywhere.
You've heard Steve Kane talk about the great work and the incredible prices at Dr. Gupta's Brighton Dental. Richie the bus driver called Steve Kane on the air and told him about his experience at Brighton Dental.
Good morning. I have to talk about Brighton Dental because your Your sponsor is a miracle worker. I broke my tooth. I fractured it in and went backwards in my mouth.
Oh my
front top tooth. I put it back into the socket. It felt like it was falling out. I had pain. I couldn't even eat spaghetti. And I was going to a wedding in New York 2 days later. And I said, what am I going to do, you know? And the dentist here wanted to charge me $120 just to look at it and to tell me he couldn't do anything. I went to Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. I traveled 139 miles. I would do it again in a heartbeat, each way. Okay? The man sat and worked on my tooth for 2 hours, put a pen in it, put it back in place. I could eat anything I want. He said it was temporary. He did such a great job. It feels like permanent. I have no pain. I can eat anything I want now. And the fact of the matter, this is what really was unbelievable. I was getting on the bus to go to the reception, okay, in New York City. He knew I was in New York. The phone rings. Who do you think's on the line?
Dr. Gupta.
Right. He wants to see if everything is going okay and if I'm in any pain. The guy is unbelievably wonderful. I mean, thank you so much. I wouldn't have been able to eat. I wouldn't have been able to go. I would have looked like a pumpkin.
Everybody needs a great dentist, and of course, for you Steve Kane listeners, you have one. Dr. Gupta, and he's over there at Brighton Dental. He takes really good care of you. He's very conscientious. He's, you know, dentistry is an art when you stop and you think about it. And Dr. Gupta certainly is an artist, and we're so pleased to have him with us.
Yeah, I just wanted them to know if you need a dentist, and the guy is so good at what he does, he's so gentle, and I mean, I don't like dentists. This guy is top shelf, and I'm going down to him to get it permanently put in, but right now, I don't have any pain. I can eat anything I want. Incredible.
Take Richie the bus driver's advice and go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. Call 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470.
I'm just taking care of something off the air. That's why I took the break a minute early. I'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere.
In contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to any lab test now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to any lab test now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to any lab test now of Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry.
I had to go and do something in the other room, so I took the break early.
The distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are
Hey,
listening
listen,
to
he's welcome to call in.
longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE 1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE 1. And now, here's Steve.
All right, guys, welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun. I took that break early. I had to go. I had to take care of something off the air. Got something going on. Personal life. Don't worry, everything's okay. No one's sick. Everyone's fine, but there's this little personal issue going on that sometimes you got to, hey, when you're a husband, you're a dad, sometimes you got to take care of things. And that's what I do during commercial breaks sometimes. Welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. we're just in a complete insane period of time in this election. I want to get to this audio exchange between Jim Acosta and Blitzer, which is very bizarre. But I just want to say one thing. I've been tuning into Rush this week, and I don't usually listen to Rush, but I've been listening. Man, you cannot even tell that Rush Limbaugh is sick. Guy has serious cancer, going through cancer treatments. He's on the air, knocking it out of the park like he's, my goodness. Doesn't he sound great, Rush Limbaugh? It's absolutely amazing. I have not confirmed this, but someone told me that Michael Savage deleted that tweet. And I'll say this about that. That's as close as you're going to get to an apology from Michael Savage. All right, so yesterday they had two things that they're trying to counter the Biden laptop thing with, okay? One is Trump has a bank account at a Chinese bank. They say it's a secret bank account, but apparently since everyone knows about it, I think we could just call it a bank account and drop secret. And there's no scandal there. It's his own money that he put in the bank. It's not money that he took through the form of selling out America in exchange for foreign aid or something. You know what I'm talking about? And it should not go without notice that the largest bank in China has a branch at Trump Tower. And he very well, now he was making a move to build something in China, which everyone does, but he may very well have just put some money in the bank because a lot of banks just want him to have a bank account there. So they can say, Donald Trump bank's here. What's the big deal? Or if he was looking to do a business deal in China, I don't know if it was from the bank that's in the lobby of Trump Tower or if it was just a bank that's only in China and he was looking to do business. If he was looking to build something over there, he builds hey, listen, I bet he's got money in the banks of Scotland because he's got that place over there. Ooh, he's got 4 bank accounts in Scotland. Phony scandal. Then they've got this absurdity with Borat, Sacha Baron Cohen, and Giuliani. And they're in a desperate mode. So yesterday, Jim Acosta and Wolf Blitzer are live on CNN. I saw this and I'm like, what are they? This is insane. They did something live on the air that they don't normally do. They talked in a way that usually they would talk off camera. Like if they were in the hallway or in a cubicle at the CNN offices, they would have a conversation like this one. To talk like this live on the air is just strange. All right, let me pull this up. Hold on, let me find this. Let's see here. Blitzer and Acosta. Okay. Now this, and let me pull this up. Okay, here we go. This is Wolf Blitzer and Jim Acosta live on the air, but talking as if they're in a show prep meeting.
Acosta, our chief White House correspondent, was listening very carefully as well. You know the president is going to be very, very angry at the former president of the United States. Clearly, Barack Obama must have gotten under his skin. At one point, I just took some notes over here. He suggested, referring to that lengthy story in the New York Times this week, that suggested that the current president has a bank account in communist China and may have actually paid more income tax to the communist Chinese than he has paid income tax here in the United States. You know that's going to get under the skin of President Trump.
Okay, now see, this is what I'm talking about, so bizarre. You know that's going to get under the skin of President Trump. I thought CNN, it's cable news network, right? News. But apparently they're not in the business of news. They're in the business of trying to get under Donald Trump's skin to try to trigger a response, which means they're trying to trigger him to do something and make news out of that. You know, that got under his skin. Oh my goodness, but it gets worse. Let me rewind a little bit.
At one point, I just took some notes over here. He suggested, referring to that lengthy story in the New York Times this week, that suggested that the current president has a bank account in communist China and may have actually paid more income tax to the communist Chinese than he has paid income tax here in the United States. You know that's going to get under the skin of President Trump.
That's right, Wolf, and I think that was one of the highlights of Barack Obama's speech when he said, can you imagine if I had a secret Chinese bank account, they would call me Beijing Barry. I mean, there is no person on the face of the earth who gets under Donald Trump's skin.
See, that's another thing, getting under the skin. So Obama, now this is, It's like they keep trying. We can get under his skin. We're going to have him explode. He's going to just go off on television. I thought Obama was out there advocating to vote for Joe Biden. And what Acosta's telling us in this strange conversation, Obama is really out there not to pump up Biden, but to get under Donald Trump's skin and try to trigger him. They're trying to throw him off for the debate because they've got a severely damaged candidate.
A speech when he said, can you imagine if I had a secret Chinese bank account, they would call me Beijing Barry. I mean, there is no person on the face of the earth who gets under Donald Trump's skin like Barack Obama, and that is why you see President Trump over the last 4 years try to undo just about anything that had President Obama's name on it, namely Obamacare, which Barack Obama talked about in that speech, saying that Donald Trump has had 4 years. He hasn't come up with a replacement for Obamacare.
Steve Kane Show.
But Wolf, I think just to echo what Van Jones was saying, there was also
Van Jones
strategy in some of what Barack Obama was talking about there when he was saying, don't believe these polls. These polls weren't right the last time around. We saw the poll.
See, now this is also interesting. So they're fake polls artificially inflating the support of Biden. This started with the Biden campaign a few days ago, and now Obama is at this drive-in event yesterday, and they're very worried about the fake polls giving their voters, the few voters they have, overconfidence where they may not turn out to vote because they know that Democrat liberal voters by nature are lazy, and if they think they don't need to leave their house and get off of Twitch for an hour or two to go vote, they may not do it. So Obama's saying, don't believe our lying polls.
It looked like things were going to work out for Hillary Clinton, and then Donald Trump was elected president of the United States. And by the way, that echoes what the Biden campaign has been saying. They have been saying, don't believe the polls. Obviously, we believe the polls.
Yes.
But
yes, we because you want to.
Obviously, both campaigns don't want to take anything for granted. And I think one other thing we should point out, Wolf, I talked to people inside the Trump campaign, people inside the White House. Barack Obama is obviously the one surrogate they don't want to see very much of.
Oh, yeah. Who is an insider of Donald Trump at the White House who's telling Jim Acosta anything about the Trump campaign? When he says sources inside the White House, he could be his own source. It could be one of his liberal media friends. They're in the White House and they said this. And they're in the press briefing room, so they're well placed. Very vague descriptors here.
Out on the campaign trail, he just has a way of getting under President Trump's skin.
See, back to that again. See, this is what I was talking about with a caller in the first hour. See, they believe their own rhetoric about the president. They believe President Trump is a weak-minded person who's an egomaniac who's easy to trigger. I hope the president saw this.
I imagine at this event that the president will be at later on this evening, we'll see a reflection of that, Wolf.
It's also interesting, Jimmy. I'm sure
Jimmy.
Trump's skin.
See, back to the getting under the skin again. I'm sure President Obama got under Trump's skin.
Later on this evening, we'll see a reflection of that, Wolf.
It's also interesting, Jimmy. I'm sure he got under President Trump's skin when he said,
see, back to that.
Reality show, this is reality. And then he mentioned something that certainly would get under President Trump's skin, that the president's ratings are not very good.
Oh, my goodness. See, this is the everything. And this is what I mean when this sounds like an off-the-air conversation when they're talking about what they're going to do on the air that day. Like Steve and I talked briefly before the show, a little show prep meeting. Oh, what did you see in the news? What are you thinking of bringing up? We do that. This isn't something you normally do. I know now, this can get under his skin, the ratings, because he's obsessed with the ratings. Certainly nothing can get under Trump's skin more than the ratings.
I'm sure he got under President Trump's skin when he said, this is not a reality show, this is reality. And then he mentioned something that certainly would get under President Trump's skin, that the president's ratings are not very good.
That's right, and that was a comment aimed at those town halls that took place last week when Joe Biden's town hall rated better than Donald Trump's town hall, and that cuts right to the heart.
Which is not true.
President Trump seems to care more about how the ratings are doing than how he's doing in the polls. And it tends to believe what happens in the ratings when the ratings come out than what happens in the polls. I was talking to a Trump campaign advisor before both of those town halls went down, and they were predicting that President Trump was going to blow the doors off of Joe Biden in the ratings. Obviously, that didn't happen.
But this could get under his skin, and that could get under his skin, and nothing could get under his skin more than this. This is CNN. That's right. James Earl Jones. Is that not bizarre, pathetic, and very strange? It's also desperate, because it shows that they've got nothing, they're losing, and they're desperately trying to trigger him before the debate tonight. I'm very disappointed in Wolf Blitzer. Jim Acosta, I have no expectations and any decency from that man. But Blitzer, he had that good little exchange with Pelosi last week. You know, every once in a while, Blitzer, he's like, I'm a real journalist. And now we find out that he's just like the rest. Richie, the bus driver, good morning.
Good morning. You know, you want to talk about
strange
stuff and getting under somebody's skin. I watched the rally last night. See how many people were there.
I think that was the biggest single event in America since coronavirus started.
It looked like the whole state of North Carolina. And then I saw President, I hate to say ex-president, because he should have never been president. This disgusting human being with this disgusting wife that looks like a man. I seen him, okay, in a parking lot on a stage with nothing. And I looked, and there was about 20 cars. That was the rating, Jim Acosta. 20 cars for the ex-president.
Yeah, how many cars came out of Miami last week for President Trump?
3,600. And this guy had about 20 cars in that parking lot. I mean, a total disaster. It looked like a Biden event.
It did. And there was that. And did you see when President Obama walked up to the crowd on the sidewalk and they didn't seem the least bit interested that he was there?
He said garbage. And I'm going to say something else now. You talk about getting under skin. I listened to Mark Levin last night. I know you probably didn't listen to him. But it turns out that on the income tax, they don't ask anything about Biden's income tax. He went under a different category to save money. And guess what he's not paying into?
Yeah.
That he's not paying into his, what do you call it, Obamacare. None of his money on his income tax is going in because he has accountants that have worked around this, and he's paying less taxes. Nobody asked him anything like that.
Yeah.
For Obamacare and Medicare, and he's not even paying into the fund. He's a phony. The whole thing is a phony, and I'm really getting disgusted. These are animals, man.
Did you see I was talking about this. Well, this exchange here, let's just talk about this exchange here with Acosta and with Blitzer, is they know there's been a lot of talk the last couple of days with this debate coming up that anytime you bring up Hunter Biden, Joe has a freak out. It triggers him. So what they're trying to do is trigger Trump so that he is not in control of himself in the debate tonight. And you can hear, well, this will trigger him. Nothing will trigger him more than this. And if this doesn't trigger him, this surely will, Jimmy. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
They're giving Trump advice to take one of the emails and to take the subpoena of the FBI and pull it out of his pocket and read it to Joe Biden. And that would be a devastating.
Well, they're not permitted, this is with all the debates, to bring anything out with them. So that would be a clear violation of the rules, and they would use that. They would cut away. They would turn the cameras off. Forget the mute button. They would turn off the cameras if he pulled that.
That would be a gotcha moment.
They're not allowed to bring anything out there with him. No notes or anything.
I guess, well, yeah, because they're censoring everything. He has to expose the censoring. That, to me, he's got to look.
Let me tell you, I watch all the Trump rallies, okay? All the Trump rallies. And by the way, Friday on Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube, it's going to be a day of Trump rallies here in Florida. He talks about this stuff from the top of his head. The only reason, thanks for the sub, the only reason there's a teleprompter up there for him is so he can remember the names of the shout-outs he's got to do for the local congressmen and officials, He knows all these stories like the back of his hand, President Trump. And if you've watched these rallies yesterday, since he has recovered from COVID, he's an entirely new man. He's complete. I mean, he is about, to me, he seems about 25 years younger than he did last time he ran for president. He seems 25 years younger than he did just 6 months ago, going through this national emergency we just got through.
Yeah, but you know what else he is? He's a man of the people, because he sits there and he talks. He's got a personality. He also has humility. He's also showing he's funny. He's really funny, and he's showing that he's one of us. I mean, it's like he's just a showman.
The everyman's billionaire.
Biden, and you look at Biden and you fall asleep. I mean, literally, he couldn't. Think people out there, could Biden stand up for an hour?
Well, but you got to, you know, the last 24 hours have been the Borat, Giuliani, Trump's got money in a Chinese bank that they want to call secret, even though everybody seems to know about it, so it doesn't seem like it's a secret. You know, there's this conversation with Acosta and Blitzer. There's a lot of desperation going on in the final days of Rome here.
Here, Al called you yesterday talking about Giuliani. They're attacking Giuliani because they can't attack the emails.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, is this his laptop, and are those his emails? Yes or no?
Yeah.
He's going to attack. He's going to attack everything, or Russia, everything. But you ask him direct question: is this your son's laptop? Yes or no? Are those your son's emails? Yes or no? For all these people out there, smoke screens.
Well, it's what Steve was saying the other day. The debate tonight's going to be hot, but what the big problem they're going to have is the discussions that start after tomorrow. So, like, say he were to do this, right? Is this Hunter's laptop? And he says no. Well, that's going to be proven very factual as soon as the debate's over. So, Biden's in a catch-22. I think what he'll do is try to lean on the death of Beau and Hunter's substance abuse issues. And
by the way, his partner that's in jail is in solitary.
Well, they moved him for his own safety. They moved him.
Everything, and his emails cooperate. Everything that's on Hunter's laptop. This is a total disaster.
Yeah, jailhouse snitch, they always want something. He might just want a better view out of a window. He just might want 10 minutes outside more a week. He'll tell him whatever he's got to tell him.
He was getting out in 30 days, man. He only had 30.
Now he doesn't want to get out because he's afraid. Now he wants to stay in, right?
Well, he didn't ask for it. No, his family's concerned. He didn't ask to be put there. He doesn't know why they put him there.
Well, they moved for his own safety. Because the president, this happened to somebody not too long ago, if you remember.
It's a disaster. If he gets elected, he is the most corrupt.
Well, I hope so. I hope no presidents were nearly as corrupt as this guy. I think what's most frightening to me about the corruption of Joe Biden is that he was able to pull it off as vice president, which is the weakest federal office there is. AOC has more power than a vice president, right? Imagine what he could do as president when he was able to pull all this off as the vice president.
Oh, he couldn't do that. You know why he couldn't do it? Because when he was vice president, he still had his marbles. That's why. He's completely out of...
See, I'm starting to wonder if I was talking about this a few days ago. I'm sure I talked about this on the air. I'm starting to wonder if he's really this out of it cognitively, or if this is an act like that mob boss in New York years ago, because he's trying to as a way to deflect all these accusations.
Well, he's closer to the guy in the movie that they carried around after he died.
Yeah. All right. Take care, man. All right. Listen, it's 22 minutes after the hour. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, the longest running radio show in Florida. Steve Kane will be joining us in progress later. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
When it comes to customer service, nothing beats Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware in Lauderdale by the Sea.
Hi, Brian. This is Dean from Deerfield Beach. I want to thank you and Steve and the fine people over at Ace Hardware. I was the winner of the raffle, and I'm proud to say I have a beautiful new Weber grill. So I want to thank you and let you know that the people over there are the customer service.
Hey, what's
will
up?
not find better people. You know, people like Steve.
It's 20, almost
Bill, and
25
Dan.
after
Terrific.
7.
So thank you again, and God bless.
Ace Hardware Deerfield is located at
Okay, all right, I gotta run. I'm coming back.
just south of Hillsborough on the
That
west
was
side
Steve.
of US 1. Beach Ace Hardware is located at 232 Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea. And when you stop in, tell Frank, he's the owner, that you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Ace is the place for the helpful hardware, folks.
The Medicare open enrollment period is here. Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080, 954-753-8080, and allow her to educate and guide you through the many plans, choices, and cost considerations. I Will Advisors represents all major insurance companies, not just a single carrier, so they will make sure you choose the best option for you. Call Debbie at I Will
Am I
Advisors
Steve's husband?
at
Sometimes it seems that way, yeah.
753-8080.
No, I gotta communicate.
753.
So he, the connection from his studio to my studio. So we gotta talk about that. All right, welcome back, everyone. 24 minutes after the hour. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Steve Kane will be joining us shortly. And if you're just tuning in, I feel I'm like on mental overload. There's so much weirdness going on. I mean, I feel like I'm on like maybe whatever Hunter Biden's taken, because what's going on in the news, it's just hard for me to believe that this is happening. There's complete chaos in the media, complete chaos among Democrats, which is a poll that shows this trend towards the great victory of President Trump. There are two television ads running for Joe Biden. The first one, these are great. I know. These are just wonderful. This first one is about the rallies that have been going on at these airports, these outdoor events that the president has been doing. They hate these because even President Obama could only get 12 cars out there yesterday when President Trump had 36,000, or was it 38,000 cars in Miami just over a week ago. So they have an ad, and it's a television ad, so I'll describe it to you a little bit before I play it. It shows a map of America, and it shows where all the rallies are, and they're calling Trump a super spreader of coronavirus. Here it is, new Biden ad.
He swore an oath to protect us, but now he's on a reckless campaign tour, infecting us.
I'll kiss everyone.
Infecting us. Really? So this is interesting. So, have you heard of any attendee of a rally being infected by President Trump? Apparently in this Biden ad, they say that's happening. I love the music, too.
He swore an oath to protect us, but now he's on a reckless campaign tour, infecting us.
I'll kiss everyone.
Holding potential super spreader events in state after state.
Okay, and that's when they show the map, and then they show all the locations of the rallies.
In state after state, dancing as the country suffers. Too politically weak to deliver new stimulus relief. Too selfish to save American lives. No plan to fight the virus. And now a third wave is coming. Had enough?
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Has there been one person that's attended a rally that has gotten the coronavirus from the president? Put them on TV. Okay, now this next ad, this is from that Lincoln group, that fake Lincoln group of Never Trumpers, that I've heard some say is funded by Mother Russia. I don't know. I know they're a bunch of Trump-hating Never Trumpers. And I got in the elevator one day last week, had my Trump shirt on. A guy got in. He was wearing one of the T-shirts from that group, and it really made me nervous. I'm like, what are the odds of that? But they've got a new ad for Joe Biden with Michael Steele. Michael Steele was once the chairman of the Republican National Committee, and he's doing an ad for Joe Biden. I'm going to play it for you in a minute, but I want to say this about Michael Steele. He's been employed and camped out at MSNBC for years now. And what happened with Michael Steele, when Barack Obama got elected president, the Republican establishment went into a panic. And they wanted to show that the Republican Party is a party of diversity, and a lot of people were promoted up through the ranks because they were not white, to show, look, we're diverse. And Michael Steele was at the top of the list. He's African American and became the chairman of the RNC. And I've seen him on MSNBC from time to time over the years, and he's a jerk. He might as well be a Democrat, especially now. So Michael Steele has come out and he has made an ad for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Listen to this. Michael Steele, the former head of the RNC.
Imagine that night. Tensions high. A nation torn apart. A plot here in Baltimore City to assassinate a newly elected president on his way to inauguration and to plunge the country into chaos. Abraham Lincoln disembarked at this train station and under pre-dawn skies made his way unscathed and on to greatness. In the days ahead, we may face a crisis of similar proportion, an outlaw president clinging to power and defying the will of the people. For 4 years, many have said there will come a moment. Well, this is the moment, because this ballot is like none ever cast.
Okay, and now Michael Steele has his ballot that he's about to mail.
I'm a lifelong Republican, and I'm still a Republican. But this ballot is how we restore the soul of our nation, electing a good man, Joe Biden, and a trailblazer, Kamala Harris, and ensure an orderly transfer of power. Or plunge our country into chaos. America or Trump? I choose America.
The project is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Okay, this is that Lincoln Project group of never Trumpers. Okay, Michael Steele. Always be wary, be suspicious of any organization that wraps themselves around Abraham Lincoln. I remember the log cabin Republicans, the gay Republicans, and they were not Republicans. They were not. They called themselves Republicans, but they were really in there to infiltrate the Republican Party to further the gay rights agenda. It was long ago. I don't even know if there's a need for them to exist anymore because mission accomplished with them. But this Lincoln Project, what is Michael Steele saying there? Right? He talks about Abraham Lincoln on the way to the inauguration, his first inauguration. What is he talking about there? Is he suggesting that if we don't elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, there'll be a civil war again? It sounds to me that that's what Michael Steele is saying. And if there's a civil war, it's not... Abraham Lincoln didn't start the Civil War. The South did because... Well, not the South. The Democrats did because the Republicans won. So is he saying to us that if we don't elect Joe Biden, the Democrats are going to do what they did in 1860? Leave the Union? Start a civil war? What is he saying? And he says he's still a Republican. You know, Rush Limbaugh said yesterday, this is not an election about a personality contest. I don't know why people think President Trump has a negative personality. I think he has an awesome personality. Don't you? I like him. I love his personality. I love how he talks. I love his attitude. I love how he does business. I love how he does politics. This whole idea that people don't like his personality, that's not what I saw at that rally last night. The largest event of people in one spot for one person since Corona. You know, what that shows me last night is music concerts should be back and plays and everything else. But he says he's still a Republican, Michael Steele, and these never Trumpers. Really? How can you be a Republican and say that people should vote for the person that's going to raise taxes, be opposed to border security, supports abortion on demand? You go through the whole list. This is textbook Republican in name only. You can be a registered Republican and support anything. Doesn't mean that you're a conservative. Michael Steele. I'm not disappointed in Michael Steele because I was onto him a long time ago over at MSNBC. But I wonder what I wonder if they paid him for that or if he did it for free. I mean, that seems such a strange thing. And payment doesn't have to be cash. Maybe they're talking to him about being the chairman of the RNC again. You know, maybe they're, if they take back the party, maybe they're offering him something. Maybe they're telling him he could be governor somewhere or a senator. So I don't know. I'd really like to know, or maybe it was to get a new contract at MSDNC. I don't know. But I don't think he went out there and did it for zero personal gain. That is so strange. All right. Let's take our break. 34 minutes after 7. After the break, we'll go back to our phones. 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll take that break and be right back after this.
Hi, Brian Craig here. You've heard Dr. Mitch Matez and Steve Kane's wife Lori talk about their COVID testing at Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. I've been tested too.
Now I have to
So
coordinate with
Kane
Steve, connecting his studio to our studio. That's why I call him. People wonder, why am I calling
He
him?
was getting sick and wanted to get tested for coronavirus. So he went to Any Lab Test Now of Boca.
Go to Rabbi David. Hey, Rabbi.
Hey,
By the way, you might hear
what's going on? Okay. For everything, or okay. Talk to you later.
Couldn't believe it. Went right in there. They put a little tiny thing.
Oh, I just hit 4,700 subs. Thank you. If you're not subbed, subscribe. Get me over that number. But yeah, thank you so much. Steve Kane Show.
We just, not even worried. So
That $69
Hey, Barry, hold on.
price is just for Steve Kane Show listeners. You got to mention that, and it's that little finger test. You get it real quick. I'll tell you, anytime somebody has any type of congestion,
And also, I guys, I know some of you have been sitting in super chats this week. I really appreciate that because, YouTube, when you have a conservative program, they either don't let you monetize the videos or they have limited or no ads on your videos. So, as opposed to all the other liberals, right? So if you become a Patreon supporter of mine or you send in super chats, that helps out a lot.
Boca and Coral Springs, they're good people, and we're very lucky to have them.
They're very caring and full of information.
First, we had a doctor recommendation from Dr. Mitch
Steve
Matez.
Kane Show.
Now we have a rabbi. Rabbi recommended Any Lab Test Now of Boca, Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs for your COVID testing. Yeah, that's great. Rabbi recommended.
Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Rabbi recommended by Rabbi David for COVID testing. Rapid coronavirus testing, just $69. But you have to mention you heard them on the radio. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Their number, 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is. Their number, 561-237.
Ken, you should call in.
009. Make sure you mention you heard them on the radio.
After the commercial, I'm going to address what you just said. Ken Irish. All right, we are back, and it's time to check in with attorney Barry Siegel, our estate planning attorney. Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you doing?
And especially given the fact that we're in the midst of estate planning awareness week. I'm sure everybody must know that. I'm sure everybody has that on the calendar. Maybe we'll be celebrating it this week. Of course, I'm kidding. It's one of those things that they have a week to make people aware of estate planning, because a lot of people are not aware of why it's so important to have an estate plan. And a lot of people think that they may be too young to have an estate plan. They may think that maybe if all their property is jointly owned with their spouse or someone, that they may not need an estate plan. They may feel that they need to be super rich to need an estate plan. Estate planning is maybe too complicated or expensive for their situation. That maybe it's something that is provided some other way, that it's already covered by the law, or maybe they think that we did our estate planning many, many years ago, and so it's all done, and we don't ever have to look at it again. All of those things are not necessarily correct, and that's why it's so important to make sure that we review our estate plans on a regular basis. If we have one that's been prepared already, even if you've never prepared one, you have the state of Florida, you're a Florida resident, you have a state of Florida default plan, the rules of custody under the Florida statute. So it's important to be aware of estate planning. That's why it's Estate Planning Awareness Week, and it may be lost in the shuffle with everything else going on here, but this may be.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people out there, children, talk to your parents about this. You know, it takes a weight off your shoulder too when your parents take care of their estate plans. Give attorney Barry Siegel a call. Again, a completely free consultation. Give him a call toll free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. Online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Barry Siegel, we will talk later in the week. All right, take care, take care. Now, before we go back to the phones, and if you're on hold, stand by. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. One of our liberals in the chat room on YouTube Live. By the way, you guys should be watching on YouTube Live. Brian Craig on YouTube. I live stream the show on YouTube. But one of the liberals in the YouTube Live chat was talking about it. They gave a number. I don't know where this number came from. 545 kids in cages under Trump. No, this is not true. It's not the Humane Society here. When people are undocumented and they come across the border and are in the custody of Border Patrol, they have to determine if they have children with them, if they are the parent or legal guardian of that child. Because a lot of people come across the border with children that are not their own. And to determine whether or not that child is their child, you have to separate them to get the real story from the kids, okay? Now, Donald Trump has done so much to stop human trafficking, child trafficking. You know, it's absolutely amazing. So this idea, oh, they're put in cages, you know, like at the Humane Society or something. I know Obama started that policy, but it's a good one. You don't want people just to be without documents saying this is my kid, and it's not. What are they going to do with that kid? I don't know. Make them work. So, you know, sell them into sex slavery? I don't know. But you need to find out if they what that policy does is protect kids from being victimized. And it's so obvious. I don't know why more people, when this issue comes up, don't address that. All right, our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's K-A-N-E. And the number 1 toll-free call from anywhere, 1-888-465-2631. All right, let's go to the phones. Conservative Doug, you're on the radio.
Good morning, good morning. You know, we were just mentioning about the kids. But, you know, no matter what happens, if a Republican does it, it's no good. If a Democrat does it, it's one. It's just the way it is. It's sickening, but that's the way it is. Now, the rally. How is it that every time I watch a rally, and I'm trying to watch every one of Trump's rallies, he always makes you laugh. That guy, I think, is the best public speaker I've ever heard. So you listen to Bill Clinton and you want to rip your ears off, or Barack Obama. It was not entertaining. This guy is great. He gets the crowd going. How anybody couldn't vote for him, I don't know. And I think
about it. There were 10 to 12 vehicles that showed up for Obama's drive-in. You know, and the reason they did the drive-in was for social distancing. So let's say there's 3 people, 4 people a car, right? Let's say average 3 people per car, because some will have 4, some will have 2. You know what? So 36 people showed up to see a former president of the United States. That sounds like a disaster.
A disaster, and nobody. I think everybody's been turned off. I keep calling the Democrat Party the new Whig Party. I think they're going to disappear because I don't see how anybody could.
Well, you know, it's an interesting thing that you say that. You know, we're in a period in American politics where there is a big transition going on. You know, from the Republican Party to the Trumplican Party, and the Democrat Party are about to make themselves irrelevant. Right? That's why they're losing so much support. And you very well may see some third party come along that becomes the second major party, not the Democrats. Steve Kane Show.
The Democrats, I think, and it's Steel Character.
Yep. Steve Kane Show.
He's a traitor, and I
Hold on.
don't know anybody speaking. As soon as you see him.
Well, I'm gonna take this next call. I just answered the phone, right? And he said, "I think you're lying, man." The next caller said to me, he says he thinks I'm lying. Well, I don't want to be lying to people on the radio, so I better take this call, Doug, and set the record straight, because if I'm lying on the radio, that's not a good thing. We want to correct that. Yeah. All right, take care, Conservative Doug. Now, before I go to this caller that says I'm lying, keep in mind we are on the radio, so you have to watch your language. All right, you're on the radio. Good morning. You say I'm a liar. What lie have I told?
I haven't researched this thoroughly, but I know you're lying, man. This doesn't make any sense. You're just the voice of the right.
What have I lied about? You say you've done no research. You think I'm lying. What have I lied about? What have I said that is not truthful?
Well, first of all, my parents came from Mexico. They came legally, and we've seen the destruction that Donald Trump has caused. He's a menace.
Oh, okay. Give me an example of destruction in America caused by Donald Trump as president. You say you've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it. He's broken families apart.
Well, okay. Slow down. Okay, when you say he's broken families apart, give me a specific example of a family he has broken apart and how he did it.
I don't know the specifics, but I see it on the news every day that all these children are being forced in cages, and
that's not true.
That's not true. Look at.
When you say a cage, okay, when you say a cage, what do you mean by a cage? Do you mean like a jail cell, or do you mean like a cage you buy at PetSmart when you're, got a dog you put in it or something? What do you mean when you say a cage? You mean like a cell?
I know you've seen that when Mike Pence, he visited the detention center, he called himself a Christian, but he looked at those kids and he shut the fuck.
Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, see, there he went. With the F-bomb. Yeah, see, that's what happens. Listen, I'm going to let the delay build back up before I take any more calls. We will take our break. I think I won that one. I hadn't even gotten to anything yet. I hadn't even said anything. I want to take our break to let our delay build back up, and then after the break, I'm going to go right back to the calls. The caller told me to shut the F up. Well, I can't do that. I got an hour and 13 minutes of radio show here to go. All right, our number, 888-GO-CANE-1. We'll be right back.
96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Steve Kane radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
I went over to a Champagne Automotive.
Oh, I'll take care of that static. Hold on. There we go. Oh, I'll take care of that static. Hold on. There we go. There we go. I got it.
I know.
Yes.
I never.
Steve Kane Show. Nope. Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show.
Bottom line, it's the price was right.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your
I guess
car.
he doesn't see, well, he's only watching CNN. So.
I knew before he was going to say something. That's why I did the warning.
And I moved the chair.
I knew. I can tell.
561-245-8100.
You're out of the box. You're a liar.
Yeah.
I want to tell you about Dr. Troy Lomaski. If that name sounds familiar, it should.
Yeah, I guess
he's
he
my
didn't
brother.
see the parade down in Miami.
I guess not.
He saved me from excruciating pain. One of the first times was just after a car accident. Someone hit my front passenger side door and pushed my car over 2 lanes. I only felt a little stiff at the time, but needless to say, as he told me,
Steve Kane
a day
Show.
later, I was in terrible pain with my back, my
Nail
neck,
him.
and my arms.
Steve Kane Show.
I couldn't move. I went to see Dr. Troy at his office in Fort Lauderdale, where my mom actually had to drive me because I could not even drive. The pain was so severe. He didn't just adjust me or manipulate me, but he honed in on exactly where the pain was and knew where he had to do some light stretching and manipulate specific areas so carefully until I felt better. His knowledge, ability to know exactly where your pain is, and his hands are healing tools. If you were in a car accident, whether it was a fender bender or a major crash, call Dr. Troy Lomaski at 954-463-3036. That's 954-463-3036.
I just had to unplug the external mic. That's what the static was.
When you call, tell him his sister, Dr. Janae, sent you.
Listen to the Steve
All right, here we
Kane
go.
Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Sorry. My name is Maria, and I'm calling from Texas.
Maria in Texas. All right, what's going on? You're an immigration attorney, you told me.
I am an immigration attorney, and, I work with quite a few people that have come in illegally over the last few years. And let me tell you what, I've worked with quite a few unaccompanied minors, and, it's amazing to me how people think, oh my God, they're keeping them in cages. They're not being kept in cages. And quite frankly, given some of the things that I have seen that have happened to these children, thank God they're being kept in cages, if they really are. Because, I've met people kids that have been made to work illegally as slaves, for no compensation whatsoever. I've also seen, I've seen the case of a young man who was brought in and was kept as a sex slave for a couple of months. So, just really horrific things. And so if we need to take some time to establish the familial relationship with the persons that are ushering these kids into the U.S., I think we need to do it. I think that's...
Yeah, this policy is the one thing Obama did that I would say was a good thing, because you've got to separate the kids from these adults to determine if they are the parent or legal guardian. The kids are scared. They're in a foreign country, and sometimes it may take time to get them to even open up with the truth.
Absolutely. And just, when you just see the trauma that these kids are exposed to. If they're being brought in by good-hearted smugglers, which,
good-hearted smugglers, yeah, I know. That's...
But for the most part, you do see kids that experience trauma as they're trying to come in.
Listen, I've been to Mexico with my daughter several times, and one thing that we both are required to have is documentation in the form of a passport before we're even allowed to leave America. So I don't understand why I need documents to go to Mexico for a day, but these people can come over here totally undocumented, and they're whoever they say they are, they're however old they want, they don't have to have any document. Listen, this policy of the separation of the children from these adults claiming to be the parents saves children. You're on the front lines of Texas as an immigration attorney, and I notice you have a bit of an accent. Where's that? That's not a Texan accent.
I grew up in California, but I'm from Mexico myself.
You're from Mexico, yeah, and are you a legal immigrant from Mexico, or did you do it later?
Undocumented for many years here, but and I think that I can speak to this better than anybody because I've seen both sides, and I see how all of this unfettered immigration that we've had how it's impacting, you know, the people that are only now arriving, but also those people.
Well, you know, I got to tell you, I love Mexico. I've been there many times. You know, we do listener cruises every year, and last year we went to Mexico, and we had a great time. We went deep into Mexico, and I feel so sorry for the people of Mexico who have this terrible stigma put upon them as a people. You know, because of all the illegal immigration. Most of them are not even Mexican, the illegal. They come up from Central America and go through Mexico in these caravans and everything else. But no, you know, President Trump, between what he's done at the border and shutting down things like Backpage, the prostitution website, he has done so much to end childhood trafficking, child sex trafficking. It's amazing what he's done, and people should thank him for it, and President Obama for starting the policy, not act as if it's a negative.
And I'll let you go. I love America more than Mexico, and, you know, I've been a staunch conservative ever since I got my citizenship. I've been voting Republican, and, you know,
how'd you get your citizenship? Are you a dreamer or something?
From Ronald Reagan, actually.
Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness! You don't sound old enough to get a Ronald Reagan amnesty, but yeah, okay. So Ronald Reagan gave you amnesty. That's okay. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate the call, and don't be a stranger. You're always welcome on this program. Oh well, send me a DM on Twitter, and I'll make sure that you're unblocked. I don't know why you would be blocked. All right. Take care. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian. This is Adam from St. Lucie.
Adam in St. Lucie. St. Lucie, like St. Lucie County or Port St. Lucie, the town?
I drive down every day.
Oh, yeah. I know who you are. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Yourself? So, you know, that guy that was on before, he failed to mention actually who built those so-called cages. And you know, I love how they blame Trump, the smears, the propaganda, all this stuff with Giuliani going on. They're just trying to cover up everything that they have done wrong. And, you know, that's basically rules for radicals. Let me just blame you for everything that I'm doing. And these people, they're just insane. And now my main concern is this whole thing. They just approved that Pennsylvania and North Carolina can have ballots up to the 12th. And that John Roberts, this guy, I mean, he always dies.
Well, what's wrong with you? Listen, they have to know how much they lost by. They need that time to stuff the ballot boxes. Don't you get it? What's wrong with you? Are you against ballot box stuffing?
I am. Yeah.
You're one of those. You must be one of the Proud Boys or something. You sound like a very intolerant person.
No, I can't handle it. I mean, the rallies have been just phenomenal. The one last night was phenomenal. I mean, I just cannot see how this guy could possibly be up 5 points in Florida.
Well, because the polls are lies. He's not up anywhere. You know, I mean, he's not even up in his own party. There's such division in the... Listen, this thing, though, you talk about with this sellout, John Roberts, and this disgusting decision. You know, Amy Coney Barrett will become a Supreme Court justice on Monday. And we'll have a 6-3 court. And John Roberts is not going to be able to sell out this country anymore. His vote won't matter, right? Because of Amy Coney Barrett turning the court over. And she's young, and she'll be there for a long time. Do what?
The Democrats aren't going to vote. Are they going to still be able to get her in there Monday?
Yes. Yeah, the Democrat senators, they say they're not going to vote. In their seats, they're going to put in photographs of people that are going to lose their health insurance. Let me tell you something. I don't have health insurance. I'm 49 years old. I do not have health insurance. Obamacare made health insurance so unaffordable for people like me. When I'm Medicare eligible, you know, in 18 years, I'll have insurance. but until it, yeah.
Mother-in-law passed away, so I drove to Tennessee. I saw my sister-in-law. She's such a liberal. And you know, she's one of those liberals that you start explaining to her what's really going on. She covers her ears and goes, I'm not hearing you. I'm like, you know, you...
Or like that last caller who told me to shut the F up because he didn't want to hear what I was saying.
Like that. They have no common sense. I mean, she's super smart. makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but at the same time, she's really stupid.
Well, she must take zero tax deductions, and she supports higher taxes. She's not taking those Trump tax cuts, is she? Ask her next time. Ask her next time.
Sick.
Your sister makes you sick, huh? All right, you take care. Oh, man. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. Yes. Hey, John, how you doing?
Well, lady, I don't know why.
Steve Kane Show.
The sound from your
Steve Kane Show.
is really screwball. But lady that talked about
Steve Kane Show.
Being an immigration attorney. I have a real close association with the Mexicans, Mexican Americans, and so forth in this area. I helped a bunch of them during amnesty buy homes in Indian Town and other places.
By the way, Indian Town is a real town in Florida. Well, I don't know if you can call it a town, but there's a convenience store and a police. Yeah, it's a small town in Palm Beach County. It's called Indian Town. I don't want people to think that that's like a derog. I'm surprised they haven't changed the name of it to Native American Town, but.
Martin County. It's Martin County.
Oh, is it? I thought it was in Palm Beach. It's right over the border in Martin County. Indian Town.
15 miles from...
It's like halfway between Fort Pierce and Okeechobee. I've driven through it so many times, yes. Okay, whichever. West Palm. Okay.
On the day that... I'll keep on going. I'm rushing myself.
Are you okay, John? You're having a hard time. You're getting like Biden. You're having a hard time getting sentences out. Are you okay, man?
Yeah. That President Trump made the talk about they're not sending the best and brightest up here, and included rapists in the list of best the bums they're sending up here. On that same day, in that newspaper here in Okeechobee, was a story about a coyote who had brought a lady and her daughter here to Okeechobee and gotten her what they call permissos. They go to the immigration court and they get a date set for 6 months or 6 years from now to go to court, and they get a permission to work paper in the meantime. And he told her that unless he got to sleep with her 13-year-old daughter regularly, that he would get her permisso pulled and send her back to Mexico. So there's a lot of that kind of illegal crap. Victimization is what goes on, and it's horrible.
Yeah. Okay. Are you doing okay though? I'm a little worried about you because you're getting you're a little off there. Okay. You're one of our longtime listeners, and we want you to be okay.
It comes through way too loud over my phone. I don't know.
Well, sometimes maybe I'm just talking too loud into the the microphone. You never know with me.
Yeah, it drives me crazy.
That's okay. I'll talk softer.
And she has good insights. By the way, one of the people, at least one of the guys that I helped buy homes in Utah, is registered Republican. The other one is registered Democrat, but he's going to be converted pretty soon.
All right. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. I got to run for our top of the hour break. It's 2 minutes after 8. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. Back to your calls after this break. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. Don't go anywhere.
5.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
I want to tell you about Dr. Troy Lomaski. If that name sounds familiar, it should, because he's my brother, the other Dr. Lomaski in the family. He saved me from excruciating pain. One of the first times was just after a car accident. Someone hit my front passenger side door and pushed my car over 2 lanes. I only felt a little stiff at the time, but needless to say, as he told me, a day later, I was in terrible pain with my back, my neck, and my arms. I couldn't move. I went to see Dr. Troy at his office in Fort Lauderdale, where my mom actually had to drive me because I could not even drive. The pain was so severe. He didn't just adjust me or manipulate me, but he honed in on exactly where the pain was and knew where he had to do some light stretching and manipulate specific areas so carefully until I felt better. His knowledge, ability to know exactly where your pain is, and his hands.
I don't like to screen calls, but I needed to hear another word to make sure he wasn't the F word guy again.
Major crash. Call Dr. Troy Lamaski at 954-463-3036. That's 954-463-3036. When you call, tell him his sister, Dr. Janae, sent you.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
You've heard Steve Kane, Richie the bus driver, and many other Steve Kane listeners tell you about the great work Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care offers. Steve Kane listener, hey, called in, he had an accident, he went to Dr. Gupta, and he told us his story.
Good morning, Brian. My name's Hank. I'm calling from Hollywood. Brian, I'm calling you for a different thing. About a month or so ago, I called first thing in the morning because I fainted coming out of my bathroom, and I busted my 3 front teeth. I busted my chin, but I guess I fainted, I fell, I cracked my chin, it hit my upper teeth, and it cracked my 3 front teeth. I want to thank you, and I really want to thank Dr. Gupta. I mean, besides the fact that my teeth look great, besides the fact that, you know, his assistant is really good, really nice, they're all really nice over there, the price was unbelievable. When I came home and I told my wife, she's like, I thought that thing was going to cost you 3 times.
I'm talking to my wife on text message.
And I just want to thank you. I want to thank
you guys wondering what I'm doing.
He's awesome. Appreciate your show. I listen to your show a lot. I only called in, this is the second time. Both times, one was to make sure I'm going to the right office where Dr. Gupta was, and then this one to let you know that he's great. I know you know he's great. I just want your listeners to know he's great. His assistant
Thank you so much to all the new subscribers. You guys got me over 4,700 this morning. I'm at 4,704 subs. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, Brian.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, and you guys keep up the good work over there.
I'm on the 5th floor, and I heard them drop the garbage.
All right,
can,
there
the
we
dumpster.
go.
Did you guys hear that?
I think you guys just heard what will be the new commercial for Dr. Gupta.
Do what Hank did. Call Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. For Steve Kane listeners, free consultations. And always the best price. Give Dr. Gupta a call right now. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's one.
Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Carlos calling from Margate.
Carlos in Margate. Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm great.
Just to make a comment regarding that caller, I assume he's from Mexico. The problem with the Latin community in this country is called Telemundo and Univision. They are just as bad as the American left-wing media.
Yeah.
There is no country in the world that treats immigrants.
What's your name on YouTube?
As nice and as kind as America.
I'll look. What is it again?
Comment for today.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was answering the phone, and I'm gonna be as honest with you as I always am. I was answering the phones when you were talking, and I did not hear all of what you said. So I apologize for that. I could play it off like, okay, thanks for your call, but I don't think that'd be nice. I'm sorry.
What I was saying was, I'm addressing the caller that called regarding the children that he said that they were mistreated by.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What I wanted to say was that the problem in the Latin community in this country is called Univision and Telemundo.
Oh yeah, I heard that part. Yeah. Well, listen, Univision is NBC, you know what I mean? So it's left-wing like the American media, and they have fewer choices than we do if they want content that's exclusively in Spanish. But, my experience has been, in the last couple of years, there's a major transformation going on in this country. It was a week and a half ago. Miami had the Latinos for Trump car parade in Miami. There were 36,000 cars, according to the Miami Police Department, in attendance. So each car had to have at least 2 or 3 people in it. You multiply that, there were 100,000 at the Latinos for Trump event in Miami. And you heard the immigration lawyer from Mexico that's an attorney in Texas earlier. I think people are very wrong. I think there's strong Hispanic support for this president. And by the way, they're not all Cubans. Not everybody in Miami who's Hispanic is a Cuban. That's a stereotype, And so I think there's a misconception. I was talking to Steve about this yesterday on the show. In a few months, when the election's over and we start to get in all the data of the different groups and how they voted, there is a transformation going on with the American electorate. And the Republican Party is no longer the party of Pat Buchanan and the Family Research Council fighting about abortion rights and the sanctity of marriage. We've evolved into something a little different. And there are many groups out there that the Democrats have taken for granted. Gays, blacks, Hispanics, and others that are, they had a damn Amish carriage parade for Trump. I'm not sure if it was in Pennsylvania or Ohio. When the hell has that ever happened? They're not political.
The enthusiasm that there is for this.
And there's a lot of Amish in Pennsylvania and Ohio. And that's a significant tell. Never heard of, and it probably has a lot to do with agriculture because that's their business.
There's no country in the world that treats immigrants as nice and as kind and gentle as America. None. Try to get into Mexico, see what happens, or any other Latin American country. You're thrown in jail, beat up, and then sent home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and unless you're on one of our listener cruises and you're treated first class.
All right, thank you.
All right,
have a good day.
All right, you take care. You take care. Well, sometimes I'm juggling a lot of things here, and that's why I didn't hear what he said in the beginning of the call. I didn't want to disrespect him. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Yeah, this is Mark at Tom Trento Show. How you doing, Ray?
Hey, Mark from the Tom Trento Show, which follows the Steve Kane Show every day at 9. What's going on, Mark?
Yeah, I was listening to you earlier this morning. You were talking about this deal.
The Michael Steele ad for the Lincoln Project.
And I just wanted to bring up how one thing I love about Trump is how he's just smoking out all these fake Republicans. He smoked out Romney. He smoked out McCain. He smoked out Steele. All the people.
Now, my wife, I was half asleep in bed last night, and I could have swore my wife told me that Mitt Romney said yesterday he didn't vote for Donald Trump.
He said he didn't vote for Hillary.
Well, maybe he voted for that fake Republican he put on the ballot. I was unclear about how he... But you're right, they're like roaches, like the Roach Motel days, the lights come on and the roaches scatter. Not in my kitchen, but you get the analogy. That's what these rhinos, Republican in name only. John McCain was their leader. Remember, John McCain's the one that got the dossier and gave it to Comey.
Yep.
But I'm telling this ad with I'm going to play the Michael Steele ad maybe again before the show's over. But Michael Steele was the head of the RNC. He did this Lincoln Project ad saying that he's going to vote for Biden and Kamala Harris, encouraging others to do it. But he's still a Republican. They promised him something, a governorship, a Senate seat, or maybe head of the RNC again. He didn't just do that. And when Trump's second term, I feel like Castro, who always wore the camouflage because the revolution never ended. But, when Trump's second term is over, there's going to be a big move from these Michael Steele, McCain holdovers, Nicole Wallace types to take back the party from all the Matt Gaetz and the Ron DeSantises and the others that are making their way, the Meadows that are making their way into the party now, and it's going to be a fight, a big one, and it's going to be rough for us.
And Nicole Wallace is another good one. He smoked out. He's smoking out all of them, and it's just, you know, before it was like name change only. It was the same party, the Democrat Party from everybody else. Now we have some real change, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, Mark, he's the, I don't know, what's your title? Are you the producer of the Tom Trinto Show? What would be your title? Now, you're like me. You do everything, right? You know, you do everything. But the Tom Trinto Show follows the Steve Kane Show on this radio station, whichever one of our radio stations you're listening to, as well as iHeartRadio and the TuneIn app. He comes on right after us. I mean, immediately when we say goodbye at the end of the show, Trinto is on, and he's a good guy. If you guys haven't listened to the Trinto Show, you'll love it almost as much. You can't love anyone as much as you love the Steve Kane Show, but it's pretty close, and it's a lot better than what's going on with that Never Trumper Beck at 9. So Tom Trinto's on at 9 on this radio station. Don't miss it. All right, Mark, you take care. You take care. Yeah, he's a good guy. All right, so, well, let me take our break. It's 1:15. Let me take this break on time, and after the break, more of your calls, and some more stuff we got to bring up, and I got to recap some of the things I brought up on the show in the first hour, because I mean, there's just this last 24 hours has been the most bizarre 24 hours of any presidential election in my adult lifetime. All right, our number is toll free 1-888-GO-KANE1. That's KANE and the number 1. 888-465-2631. We'll take this break and come back with your calls. Don't go anywhere.
Brian Craig here. You've heard us talk about the great low prices Friendly Tire has on new tires and used tires. They also do tire repairs. Listen to one of our listeners talk about their experience at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Hey Brian, my name is Mike. Just wanted to call
Steve Kane Show.
Thank you. I had a problem with my car. I had a flat tire. It was
hold
going
on.
down really quick. In Coral Springs, I had to go somewhere close by. They couldn't really fix it. So I remember you guys are talking about Friendly Mike at Friendly Tires. So I said, listen, Mike, I need a couple of tires. I told him my son. He goes, I got them. I go, I'll see you tomorrow. They were really cheap. I go over there, and Mike said, which tires do you want to replace? They look relatively new. I said, they are. I just got a big hole in that one. And they said they couldn't be fixed. He goes, pull your vehicle in. I pulled the vehicle in. He took the tire off. He pulled out the plug that the guy in Coral Springs put in there, and he heat shielded it. He kind of patched it or whatever they call it. I don't know what they call it. And he goes, you don't need any tires. He goes, I fixed that one. Give me 20
Steve
bucks.
Kane Show.
But the guy in Coral Springs wanted $500 for 2 tires. I just wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Give Mike at Friendly Tire a call right now. We'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Don't waste time going anywhere else. You will never find prices as low as Friendly Tire in Margate. Do you want to keep your home and business free from germs and COVID-19? You can with the help of Extreme Germ Busters. Extreme Germ Busters have the most advanced disinfectant delivery system on the planet. It kills 99.9% of germs, as well as viruses, including COVID-19. It's safe, non-toxic, odorless, and EPA approved. It's safe for your home, your office, your car, your doctor's office, restaurants, or anywhere else you want to be safe. Extreme Germ Busters disinfected the entire radio station, the lobby, the studio, the control room, the microphones, the hallway, the elevator, anywhere people have been. And like all Steve Kane Show sponsors, their prices are low. In fact, they charge about half of what the other companies charge. After they disinfect your location, they give you a completion certificate so you can display it in your lobby. And their COVID-19 disinfectants are made right here in the USA. Give them a call right now. 954-69-GERMS. That's 954-694-3767. Online, ExtremeGermBusters.com. That's Extreme, XTREME. And for you Spanish speakers, they speak Spanish. Help prevent the spread of COVID-19 and germs by keeping your employees, clients, customers, patients, and your family safe. 954-69-GERMS.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, welcome back. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, Brian, what's going on, brother?
Not much.
It's my birthday last night. We had a good time, man.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. And so what's good news? What's good word?
Hi, Ryan.
I guess so. Who's in the background there? Am I on a party line?
That's dinner. We went to some Mexican food.
Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, on the speaker, nobody can hear anything that's being said because it's not a good enough quality. Oh, you're going on the cruise. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, call Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot. We're going to have a great time. It's just a little over a month away. It's a month after the election. Just over. It's December 6th. I know. I'm looking forward to it too. I know. I need the vacation. Well, hey guys, I appreciate the call, and I'll see you on the cruise. All right, take care. Yeah, our Steve Kane Trump 2020 Victory Cruise on the Celebrity Edge is still on December 6th. It's a Sunday for 7 days of great times on the Celebrity Edge, the most advanced cruise ship on the oceans. Absolutely. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Fuck.
Oh, there we go. Oh, my goodness. No. If you say it louder, it still doesn't get out on the radio. That's what the dump button's about. You know, the thing with profanity on the radio, there's a trick to this, okay? You know, we have the longest delay of any radio station I've ever heard of. What you hear on the radio is like 40 seconds ago. We have 2 delays, right? I have a delay here in the studio that I'm at, and then Rich down the hall, he's in the control room on the other side of the radio station. He has another delay, and I never miss it. And there's a lot of times, though, I've listened to nationally syndicated radio shows like Laura Ingraham, and I've heard F-bombs go out. And what happens, doesn't happen here, because I know what I'm doing. What happens is when somebody says the F word, like that person just did. They said F you really loud. I did hear it in my headphone. Most people panic. They panic when it happens, and they hit the dump button. And then the caller's still on the air. Then they say it again. So I shouldn't give this secret away. Don't panic. Don't panic. Most stations have a 7.5 second delay. That's an eternity. So when someone calls in with an F-bomb, you guys watch it on YouTube, you just see me casually take care of it. You hang up on the caller and then slowly move and hit the dump button that way. What most people do is they hit the dump button, don't hang up on the caller. They hang up on the caller second, and they're still there, and they say it 2 or 3 more times. That's why on nationally syndicated shows you hear that happen sometimes. But not here on the Steve Kane Show, because we're highly skilled at what we do, and we're used to I remember there was one night, Steve and I, a couple years back, we came up here to guest on someone else's show. Michael Blum used to do a radio show on this radio station. And Al Knight, who does the weekend show on Saturdays with Dr. Lemaski, was running the board. And it was like the first or second caller, dropped an F-bomb. Al freaked out. He hadn't had that happen. And he didn't even know where the dump button was, because they don't typically have to use it around here on this radio station. They don't have to use it on the Trento show. But here on the Steve Kane Show, every day we make sure that delay is on before I open up the microphone, because, you got liberals out there. But I'll tell you this, though. This is great. We've had 2 callers today use F-bomb, drop the F-bomb on the radio. That's a poll. That shows you how bad things are for Biden. That tells you how well it's going for the Trump campaign. Because when liberals are winning, they call in. They don't say F-bombs. They want to be heard. They like to call in and gloat and laugh and have a good time. When Republicans are winning, that's when these types of things happen. Okay? I'm doing this a long time. Every election, believe me. Like when Obama won, oh my goodness. That was awful. When Obama won, it was like months of just callers calling in, laughing and having a good time, liberals just laughing at us. And it was kind of like after the O.J. Simpson acquittal, right? after OJ was acquitted, it was just like weeks and months of people gloating that a man had gotten away with murder. You know, James Woods, the incredible American actor, if you do not follow James Woods on Twitter, you got to follow him. He has the best Twitter next to the president's. He's very funny. I did not know James Woods went to MIT. Did you guys know that about James Woods? Great actor. Excuse me. But he said something on Twitter yesterday that was... It was funny, but it's true. A very sad commentary. You know, the New York Post are still locked out of their Twitter account. Charlie Kirk got locked out the other day. But O.J. Simpson has free reign. And O.J. Simpson, I follow O.J. on Twitter because it's so funny. He likes to make videos when he's either going to the golf course or leaving the golf course. And the reason I follow O.J. is to read the comments. And he comments on everything that's going on every day in the news. Sometimes it's sports, sometimes it's his fantasy football league or something, you know. And he does commentary on Twitter. And the reason I follow OJ is because the comments are hilarious. They're like, "You're killing it today, OJ," you know, and all, you know, they're hilarious. But yeah, what does that say? That O.J. Simpson has, the butcher of Brentwood, has free reign on Twitter, but Charlie Kirk and the New York Post, whole nother story. All right, now listen, tonight is the night. It is the debate. And I thought it was interesting because some of the callers today, they have this idea that Biden's not going to show up. Biden is going to show up. This debate is going to be a disaster for the Democrats. It's going to be a disaster for the media. And Kristen Welker, like the previous two debate moderators, this is going to destroy her career. It already has damaged her beyond repair. Kristen Welker, the moderator from NBC News. She's the White House correspondent for NBC News. She has been for a while. And because of this, we found out all kinds of things about her, right? Spent Christmas with the Obamas at the White House. Family big dim donors that even donated to Joe Biden. They're big donors. It's probably how she got her job as the White House correspondent. They probably bought her way into it somehow, or through the family connections, through all that stuff. And Kristen Welker is... almost like a sleeper agent. She's been a sleeper agent. We all know she's part of the mainstream media, so you assume they're liberal, but she's had this role as the senior White House correspondent for NBC News, and there's credibility with that. And look what this debate did. It outed her. You know, we were talking with Mark from the Trinto Show about how all these Republican and name only, never Trumpers are getting smoked out like Michael Steele, right, with their hatred of Trump. Look at what's happened with these debates, right? I did not know that she was that tight with the Obamas to spend Christmas morning with them in 2012. I didn't know that her family were big-time Democrat donors. I didn't know any of this stuff until that is something that will follow her around forever. And we will always know that she's a Democrat activist, not just some liberally biased journalist. She didn't mind that, but knowing this is different. Steve Scully at C-SPAN, he's done. He's been over at C-SPAN for as long as I can remember, taking calls all day on those shows he does. And Chris Wallace has forever been damaged by the way that he handled himself in the first debate. I mean, think about that. Trump didn't just defeat Biden. He's defeated 3 moderators, and the second debate didn't even happen, and that guy got exposed, and he's done. Kristen Welker, she's been exposed. And what's going to happen here, and Trump will be victorious tonight. He'll beat both Biden and Kristen Welker. They can take his mic away. They can mute him. They can do whatever they do. He's still going to win. But what's going to happen after this election, there's going to be a major review because, like with these rhinos and never Trumpers getting smoked out, this presidential debate commission has been exposed. And we have a bunch of Michael Steeles over there who have been, that are the Republicans with the Presidential Debate Commission, and you've seen what they've done. They've set up 3 debates to sabotage the Trump campaign, the Republican. And that's just not going to be the way things are in the future, and that debate commission is going to go the way of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Faded away, and then it's gone. All right, let's take some more calls. Our number, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing all right. It's okay. You almost called me Steve. I know. It's a Steve Kane show. That's an honest mistake.
Yeah, and he's not around.
No, Steve's not here today. You're stuck with me. He'll be back tomorrow.
Well, good for him. I wanted to make our liberal F-bomb friend's head explode a little more. There was an article a couple of years ago, and what nobody really reports on is those kids show up malnourished. They get 3 squares a day. They go to school. They're required to take classes, and they also get recreation time. So they're very well treated. So, this guy and his whole thing about locked up in cages is just nuts. But one thing, though, that stood out in that article that I thought was just really telling is that the Border Patrol said some of those kids show up 4 and 5 times.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Supposedly send them back to their parents, but here they keep ending up back in the United States. And it made me, nobody drew any conclusions, but I came to the conclusion that in some of these really poor areas, the parents must be selling these kids to get money. That's the only thing I can...
Or they don't have parents, and they're already gone. I mean, they're just the property of these slavers. Yeah, and all this talk about suburban women. I mentioned this to a caller earlier, and I have not mentioned this in a couple years. President Trump, in his first year in office, shut down Backpage, which was a global human trafficking prostitution website. And I read the local news in the local papers because I like true crime. Like, I'm into the ID channel, and I read the local news for the local crime to see what's going on. And before he shut down Backpage, anytime there was a prostitution arrest, it was from Backpage. And President Trump, by shutting it down, has stopped so much exploitation of women and children of both sexes into sex slavery by shutting down Backpage. And he never gets credit for this. But what he did was miraculous. I wish more people would talk about him doing that. I just thought it was an amazing accomplishment of his.
Craigslist was in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's right. And there were many on Backpage. It was so often that you would find a child who was being forced into sex slavery, and they were being advertised on Backpage. And President Trump did that. President Trump has saved so many children and so many women from sex slavery, not just in this country, but throughout the world, because there's international trafficking, too, that he stopped by doing that.
That they're still finding ways to do this stuff. I know there's been...
Well, there's always going to be a way. It's the oldest profession. But, they say Trump hates women. I see him doing a lot of things to help them.
Yeah. So on the technical side, listening to your voice here, it does get distorted really bad at times over the phone.
Yeah. On the phone? Well, it's probably because I'm talking too loud and too close to the mic. Because I talk very loud. Is it distorted now on the phone? Oh, when I yell. Yeah, because I that's called overmodulation. I'm overmodulating because I talk loud. I know. I annoy everyone because I talk. So if you listen to my people notice this because on my podcast I talk much lower because most people listen to the podcast like in earphones. So I Michael Savage on his podcast, he talks as loud as he does on the radio, but when you're doing I got my AirPods in and it's like so on the podcast I talk more like soft. Yeah, almost, because I don't want to blast people's ears out of their headphones, but it's the way. All right, hey, I appreciate the call. All right, let's take Greg 2. You're on the radio.
Hey, Brian, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great.
Good, you sound good. You don't sound too loud to me, you're fine. But listen, Brian, I've expressed my deep concerns about Trump, going down, like, big time, but I was visiting Broward County yesterday, and I was amazed. Broward is obviously a hub for liberalism, correct?
Correct.
And Democrat, right.
Hey.
I saw at least 4 shopping centers.
Steve Kane Show.
Small, strip shopping centers with huge Trump signs out, that they put up, built like a sign, maybe by 8 by, maybe 15 feet, something along those. with Trump. It was amazing. Have you experienced that? Like,
no, I've been telling you, I am seeing Trump 2020 signs in unexpected places. Liberal Broward County, liberal Boca Raton. About 2.5 weeks ago, my wife and I did something we thought was risky. We put a big Trump flag up on our garage flagpole. And it's been there for 2.5 weeks. And not only has there not been any problems, other people in the neighborhood have put up Trump flags in front of their houses too in the neighborhood. So we're kind of setting a trend in the neighborhood. And that's how popular this guy is.
I'm shocked by it, especially like they went to great expense to put these signs up. They could turn off potential customers, but they're willing to risk it. That's how loyal they are, and willing to, because some people may not go to that strip shopping center that do not like Trump.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another thing I see a lot of cars driving around with Trump flags on them. I saw one guy pass me on 441 the other day in Parkland. He had a pickup truck. He had 6 or 7 Trump flags flying and connected to the bed of his pickup. All right, Greg, I got to run. It's time to check in with Richard Pearl from our noontime show around here, Richard Pearl on politics. But right now it's the health report time. He's going to tell us about all the great nutraceuticals over at Simply Natural. Hey, Richard Pearl.
Hey, good morning. So there's a couple things I want to say. First off, supplements are not equal, just like Donald Trump is not equal with Joe Biden. Donald Trump way better. And supplements are not equal, and delivery systems are not equal. And so it's very important that when you buy something that has impact. A lot of people think that liquid's better just because it's liquid, which makes no sense, because vitamins go into your stomach and they turn to liquid. You eat a piece of meat, it turns to liquid. So people don't realize that being a liquid doesn't make a difference. Sometimes only when it goes through the mouth into the mucosal lining, that's different. But generally, whether it's liquid or a pill makes no difference. The difference is the carrier, what you put with it. So if you take a magnesium, for instance, or a mineral, and you have the right amino acid attachment to it, it's going to work better. Or if you take the right form of, let's say, glutathione, acetyl, where it'll not break down when it hits the stomach. There are many different supplements that people are taking. They think they're doing well, but they're really taking garbage because they don't know what they're doing. And it's important to go to a place, whether it's me or somewhere else. I mean, obviously, I want you to come to Simply Natural, but it's important that people come and they buy something that actually delivers what it claims. That's one thing. Second thing, I'm going to do on my show today, I'm going to reach out to Rush because obviously he's doing poorly with his cancer treatment. Medicine has been a disaster when it comes to cancer treatment, and there are natural approaches that can be used to facilitate a better outcome. Because unfortunately, medicine does the same approach to treating cancer as it does to the COVID virus, which is very limited. It ignores things that are very effective because it's not part of their model of profit. And it's something that, so they ignore essentially anything that isn't what they do. And there's so much that you must do when.
Yeah. That's right. And he is in South Florida. Palm Beach, that's South Florida. Yeah, he does a show from Palm Beach. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. I used to think that kind of talk was crazy conspiracy talk, about the cancer and all that, and then I see how political the vaccine has become. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of partisanship on who should take it, who shouldn't take it, should we take it, and you see the motivations behind things. Listen, Richard Pearl's radio show is 7 days a week on this radio station at noon. His store, Simply Natural, is located in Sunrise, open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And the number over there is 954-686-8255. 741-4045. Richard Pearl, take care. We'll be tuned into your show at noon today. All right, take care. Back to our phones. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's your buddy Al from Coral Springs.
Hey, Al in Coral Springs. You must not be doing too well. Trump's going to be your president again.
Hey, I had to deal with 4 years. I think I can deal with another 4.
Oh, great. Slow down. Did you guys hear that? That was a concession. You are conceding that Biden is losing. Awesome.
I'm gonna hope that you let me try to get 4 points in this morning. I'm glad your other caller let you know about the technical issues.
I'll talk softer to the callers.
About the muting and whatever's going on over there. As Trump calls it, it's mic oscillation. But anyway, you've been talking about immigration. I'm going to just touch on that real briefly. I got a few friends that actually work in immigration. And the uninformed American public, half of them will probably have strokes if they knew how much of their tax dollars went just to take care of one detained illegal immigrant in this country. And I know that there are thousands of them.
So you have friends in the immigration. What are they, coyotes? What do they do? Your friends?
I'm just telling you, if the average American knew how much of their tax dollars went to taking care of illegal immigrants.
That's because the government, the Democrats, and with these Republican establishment people have given them too many rights. They should be immediately returned to their home country and not here to get treatment.
Here's where I disagree with you. A lot of these private for-profit prisons are backed by Republicans, and they're making a killing off taxpayer dollars, and they're destroying our economy. But anyway, another point I want to make. You brought up the rhinos, okay? Let's be honest, Brian. Come on, sometimes you can be reasonable. You used to be a Democrat. When you switched to Republican after somebody taught you how to, lower your taxes, nobody called you a traitor. Why is it that, you have to be a jump off the cliff if you disagree with anything the president says? That's not American. In Thailand, you can go to jail for 10 years if you talk bad about...
Well, okay. I have never known of a Republican advocating for a political opponent in America to be sent to prison. However, Democrats have sent several Republicans to prison that are political prisoners. Dinesh D'Souza. Hold on, I'm going to go through the list. Dinesh D'Souza, Paul Manafort, who's the other campaign? Michael Cohen. They went after Michael Cohen. Look at what happened. Steve Bannon's been arrested. The Democrats, they go after political opponents. Borat with Rudy. I don't know of Republicans going out and trying to get people in trouble with the law because they politically disagree with them. It's always the left that do this to conservatives.
See, like I said, this is Trump's administration. And, Trump has 15 people that have been indicted by his administration. And, like I said, this lemur mentality that no Republican can do wrong.
Look at General, excuse me, I didn't say a Republican couldn't do wrong, but look at General Flynn, an American man who's a patriot, dedicated his life to the United States military, and look what they did to him. He was persecuted because of his association with President Trump, just like Paul Manafort was.
About ballots, all right? I listen to you. You have not mentioned once on your show, maybe I missed it, what the Republicans have done in California with the fake ballot boxes that they've set up. No one's gone after them, and now you got official ballot boxes being set on fire. Why have you ignored?
I have no idea what you're talking about. So explain. I'll look it up. Hold on. Slow down. Because I've got my iPad here. Give me some specifics. I'll look it up right now. We'll talk about it.
All you do is Google fake Republican ballot boxes. They set them up all over the state. They've been collected from. No one has no idea what's happened to these ballots. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen to those ballots.
Wait. I just Googled. Hold on. I Googled. I specifically used Google, not DuckDuckGo, which is my preferred search engine. And I Googled fake Republican ballot boxes. And I don't... Okay, you want me to add California to it? Okay, hold on. I'm going to add California to it. I'm not afraid of anything here. I'll bring it up. Okay, then here's a story. Oh, it's from CNN. Okay. The California... This is from CNN. Is CNN an okay... I haven't read the story. Let's see.
From Bloomberg News. Or you look for something like...
Bloomberg's trying... But Bloomberg is paying people for their votes in Florida. How is Bloomberg more credible than CNN?
CNN, read from something neutral so you don't have any excuses.
Well, I thought CNN was... What do you want me to read it from?
Anyone, it's a million of them there. Just read anyone that's not from CNN. The point is this.
Okay, hold on. What about the LA Times? Okay, I don't know. Apparently CNN doesn't back up what you want to promote, so you don't want me to read left-wing CNN. This is the LA Times. I have not read this story. I'm not familiar with this story. I looked up what you wanted me to look up. No, hold on. I'm going to read it. Hold on. I'm going to read the story to you. I haven't read the story. I did what you said. You said Google Republican ballot boxes, California. Don't go anywhere. No, stay here. I'm gonna read it well, slow down. Don't forget your last, excuse me. I don't either. I gotta take a break for the Gold Report in a minute, but I'm gonna read, this is your story. Why are you trying to stop me from reading the story that you told me to read? You told me, Google it, I Googled it. I started to read it from CNN. You said no. I said, is the LA Times okay? You said okay. I start to read it and you're trying to stop me again. What is it about this story that you're afraid of? This is your topic. He hung up. I guess it's just a one-line talking point and he doesn't want any context. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with the Gold Report right after this.
9.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
Yeah.
Seniors, open enrollment is here. I will
Steve Kane Show.
is here to offer you an unbiased
Steve Kane Show.
of all your Medicare health insurance options. Iowa advisors specialize in educating Medicare beneficiaries on every available option to ensure you make the right choice for your needs. Call us directly at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesouauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com, Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, and it's time for the Gold Report with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated. Good morning, William Youngerman.
Morning, Brian. How you doing?
Great. How are the metals looking today?
Metals are looking crazy again. We had a big day up yesterday with gold gaining $18.50, pushing it way up through the trading range that we've been in to close at $1,924.30. Silver was up 44 cents, pushing it through the resistance area of $25, closing at $25.03 the ounce, while platinum was up $12 at $879, and palladium closed up $5 at $2,295. Today we've got the absolute reversal, and the markets are almost down exactly what we gained yesterday. Gold down $18.30, right now at $1,906 the ounce. Silver down 43 cents after gaining 44 cents yesterday, currently at $24.60 the ounce. Platinum down $18 at $861, and palladium down $45 at $2,250. So again, we're still locked in these trading ranges. We had one up day yesterday, and the weaker dollar has been giving some support to gold, but the basic wait and see attitude of the financial, especially the gold market, to see how this election turns out, I guess, is going to continue to rule the day at this particular time until something gives us a reason to really break out of these trading ranges, which we have been in for several weeks now. That's pretty much where we are.
Yeah, and of course, William Youngerman, a great thing over at William Youngerman Incorporated is they have all the metals in stock on hand. So you walk in and you walk out with your gold, your silver, whatever it is you come in for, which is very unusual in that business. All right, the number over there is 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. They open up weekdays at 10, and they're located on the first floor of the Bank of America building at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, which is immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of the street. All right, William Youngerman, we will finish out the week tomorrow. All right, take care. Yeah, tonight's the big debate. You know, I got to say, though, that last call from Al, I read both stories that he, you know, isn't it an interesting thing? He had this, first, I got to concede that Joe Biden's losing, and you heard a little depression in the call. This was Al from Coral Springs, not to be confused with liberal Al the John. We have two liberals named Al on this program that have become chronics. Liberal Al the John, and then we've got Al from Coral Springs. Al from Coral Springs, after he got all over he slipped and admitted that Trump's winning, he talked about these Republican ballot boxes. And if you notice, what he had is what liberals typically have, a talking point with no substance. And he hung up. He did not want me to read the story to you because he wants a talking point out there as opposed to the truth. And I read both stories, both in CNN and the LA Times. He tried to stop me from sharing both stories with you and the listening audience, but I'm going to tell you what both stories said, which was exactly the same thing. In California, they have really a racket going on that the Democrats employ called ballot harvesting. And what ballot harvesting is you can actually collect other people's ballots and turn them in. And it's something that the Democrats do to fix elections. That's what it is. It's called ballot harvesting, but it's legal. Ballot harvesting in California, as strange as it is legal. And Republicans decided, well, it's legal ballot harvesting. We're going to do it too. And they set up voting boxes in areas around California where Republicans can bring their ballots. And then the Republicans will safely take them to the voter registration office. You know, a lot of Republicans are afraid to mail their vote in. My wife had to do the vote by mail this year. I did not put it in the mailbox. I drove it to the post office and put it in the general post office box because our mailman knows we're Republicans. Not just because we got, even if we didn't have the Trump flag on the front of the house, we get all the Trump mail because we're registered Republicans all the time. So we didn't trust them. And in California, for very good reason, Republicans don't trust the post office with their ballot. They know you're a Republican based on the mailers you get politically. So the Republicans started taking advantage of this ballot harvesting in California that the Democrats have been doing forever. And the Democrats just had a fit. And the Democrats that are running that state into the ground ordered the Republicans to stop doing it. And they said, no, this is legal. See, they only support ballot harvesting if Democrats are doing it. And there's been such a change in the way that so many things have happened in our elections. The Republicans are fighting to win now, right? We've got this October surprise with the laptop. The Republicans are getting on board the ballot harvesting in California. Why not? The Democrats are doing it. And it's about time Republicans actually fought to win an election, and it's all because of Trump, because he is a fighter, and we love him for it, right? Don't you? I love him. Oh yeah, I think it's awesome. And this has got the left in a panic. And I don't know, some people say California's in play. I don't know if the state is in play for the presidency, but I think this ballot harvesting is how they steal House seats. And the Republicans are still doing it. They haven't stopped it. They'll stop ballot harvesting when the Democrats stop, and they're not stopping. And they in the election 2 years ago, they flipped some longtime Republican House seats to Democrats, and many believed it was because of ballot harvesting, and so the Republicans are doing it. And that's why Al, who brought up the topic, wanted to have some talking point as if Republicans are doing something wrong. He didn't want to get into the substance because he knew. And when he hung up, see, this is what he doesn't understand. When he hangs up, he's no longer on the radio. But I still am. And I can finish the conversation without him. Oh, man. Well, listen, tomorrow's going to be a big day because the debate is tonight already. Can you believe? Oh, man. I'm so excited. This is going to be a rough day because time is going to pass so slow. I just cannot wait to see this debate. I am so excited about this debate. It's like when Star Wars: The Force Awakens came out. I went and saw it right after the show in the morning, first showing. I was going nuts. I couldn't wait to see it. That's how I am with this. It's like I'm like an 8-year-old Christmas night. And you can't go to sleep, right? Because this is it. This is the final debate. It's going to be hot. We all want to see how the president handles debating both of these people. Kristen Welker, the moderator, and Biden. And what's he going to say about the laptops? And how will Biden... I mean, this is probably the most exciting pre-debate I think we have ever had in a presidential election. What do you guys think about that? I don't know. It is to me. You're on the radio. Good morning. All right. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good. It's Walt from West Spoke. I called you a few months ago, but I just had to follow up with... I really can't take Angry Al anymore. These people have, a person like him has a very low IQ, he's very unintelligent, their anger is through the roof, their hatred is unbelievable, and it's very...
I'll tell you, he sounds defeated though, doesn't he?
I got kicked out of my chiropractor's office last week. He told me, go find another chiropractor because he's a left-wing maniac, and he's a really good chiropractor. But unfortunately, I wore a T-shirt that says Hillary for Prison and has a picture of her, a big picture on the back of the shirt. She's holding on to the jail bar. She has like she's crying. It's hilarious, and I've had a lot of people...
So wait a minute, your chiropractor refused you medical treatment because of your politics?
Correct.
Sounds like one of those death panels.
Bob Shevin.
Well, I don't know about... Well, I'll tell you, that's why you should go and see... You should see our chiropractor, Dr. Troy Lemaski.
About it. I'm going to probably contact...
Let me tell you something. I went in... he is the best chiropractor. I've been to a lot of chiropractors, and I stopped going to chiropractors about 10 years ago because I just wasn't... I went and saw him once. My pain was gone, and I was about 2 inches taller. He is He's the best. In fact, I'm going to end the show today with his commercial, and he's listed at SteveKaneShow.com. And I don't know what his politics are, because I really don't talk about politics with my chiropractor. I just talk about what hurts.
You're going to have to leave. I don't like that shirt. Matter of fact, go find yourself a different chiropractor.
Wow, so that's interesting. So you're going to deny it? Well, is that a violation? Can a doctor deny medical treatment to somebody because of politics?
One of the local news stations, like Channel 12, and I spoke to a guy in great detail. He was really nice to me, and he told me, listen, that guy has his own business, because I wanted to put it on the news. And the guy said, no, he has his own business, and he has a right.
Well, does Howard Finkelstein still do Help Me Howard?
You know, I'm not sure, to be honest.
That sounds like right down Help Me Howard's alley, but I think he's a Democrat. He's probably not interested. All right, I gotta run. I'm out of time. Real fast. Oh, fake tapper. Okay. All right. Appreciate that. All right. Listen, we're all out of time. We'll end the show with Dr. Troy Lemowski's spot. But I'll see you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. with Steve Kane. Take care.
I want to tell you about Dr. Troy Lemowski. If that name
all right, guys. Hey, listen. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. All right. We're here live every morning from 6 until 9 a.m. This is the best show on the radio. I promise you. You'll never find a show on the radio even close to as good as this one. And we're the most pro-Trump radio show anywhere, guys. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. And please, please, please click the like button, right? Go get that thumbs up. I appreciate it, because the liberal trolls are always doing the dislike. So, guys, go there and hit that like button. All right? Take care and have a great day. I'll see you later.